Chapter 141. Night Sorrow was speechless. The Shi Yunhai was too heartless. Impudent. Come and greet your 13th martial uncle. Shi Mu glared at Shi Yunhai. Shi Yunhai greets martial uncle. Shi Yunhai bowed to Night Sorrow. I'm here to see your brother. Yishang explained his purpose for coming. My cousin should be fine. It's just that his cultivation isn't high enough, so he forced himself to use the spirit snake movement. This means that my brother has no problem entering the core condensation stage. Shi Yunhai said. Then Shi Mu briefly explained the situation to Night Sorrow. The Shi family's innate bloodline allowed them to twist their joints. Before entering the core condensation stage, they could only twist their limbs. The spirit snake movement could only be used after entering the core condensation stage. It was the twisting of the waist bones. Shi Yunxiao forced himself to use it, so he was injured. But after using it, there was no big problem. Knowing that Shi Yunxiao was fine, Night Sorrow planned to leave. Hey, let's drink and do missions together when we have time. Shi Yunhai waved to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and left. The Shi family was very popular. It made sense. Ordinary people couldn't be as open-minded as them. Back at Taishan Peak, Night Sorrow saw Yu Yangyu in the Taishan Hall. Not bad. First place on the Yuan ranking. This way you won't be criticized for having the heaven rank treatment. Work hard. Just now, the Great Elder came and hoped that you can participate in the Golden Flame sex power struggle. But it's still a bit far. Yu Yangyu said. The Great Elder might not be satisfied with my performance today. Night Sorrow said. Then Yang Lei explained to Yu Yangyu that the Great Elder's attitude changed because Night Sorrow didn't compete. That's nothing. However, Great Elder is right. When it's time to fight, we have to fight. There's something that none of you know about. Today Master will tell you about it. Yu Yangyu gestured for Yang Lei and Night Sorrow to sit down. Then he explained some things that even Yang Lei didn't know. Providence. In the world of cultivation there had always been a saying about luck. Those who had great luck would have a smoother cultivation process. In addition, they would also have more opportunities than ordinary people. Where did luck come from? When some people were born, they were blessed with good fortune. The other type of fortune was obtained through hard work and hard work. The way to compete was to attract attention and accumulate fame. The higher one's fame, the more luck one would have. For example, the Medicine Valley's Yuan leaderboard would attract people's attention and attention. This was a kind of fame. 13 has a chance to gain fame. What about me? Yang Lei was a little conflicted. She didn't know about this secret before. It's simple. Cultivate hard and then walk out of the Medicine Valley. Go out and fight, Yu Yangyu said. In addition, Yu Yangyu gave an example of why he was valued by the Medicine Valley's Grand Elder and had a chance to become the next Valley Master. It was because he had gained some fame in his early years outside and was valued. This was fame. With fame, things would go smoothly. This was the simplest manifestation of luck. On the second day, Night Sorrow wanted to watch the alchemy leaderboard competition. However, Yu Yangyu brought him to do something else. It could be said that they were going to meet someone. Yu Yangyu brought Night Sorrow to the back of Danding Peak's main hall. There was a 6-story, ancient-looking pavilion. The front and back of the pavilion were occupied by the Medicine Valley's elite disciples. After arriving at the library, Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow, I'm here to meet your Grandmaster today. My Grandmaster is in the library? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Yes. Sometimes he is in the worship tower. Sometimes he is in the library. He is the guardian of the library. Yu Yangyu nodded. With the token in hand, Yu Yangyu went directly to the top floor of the library. He then knocked on the door of a room. Come in. An old voice rang out. After opening the door, Night Sorrow saw a white-haired but kind-looking old man. The old man was sitting cross-legged on a futon. 13. Greetings to your Grandmaster. Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow. Disciple Night Sorrow greets Grandmaster. Night Sorrow bowed to the old man. Not bad. You are full of energy and vigor. The old man nodded to Night Sorrow. He took the title of Newcomer King and Yuan Leaderboard Champion yesterday. So I brought him here to meet Grandmaster. Yu Yangyu bowed. The old man stood up. His eyes glowed as he sized up Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow felt as if he had been seen through. There were no secrets left. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yangyu, you have a good eye for disciples. The old man nodded in satisfaction. He is hardworking. Very hardworking. Moreover, he has already mastered the Zhenyu hand. He can use it a few times in a row. Yu Yangyu did not shy away from praising Night Sorrow. Mastered the Zhenyu hand? Then I have a suitable weapon. The old man waved his hand and took out a claw glove. He handed it to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took it and looked at it. He found that it was a soft, hollow claw glove. It was made of light blue metal thread. The back of the hand was not exposed. It could block the damage from sharp blades. The palm was mostly exposed. However, at the joints of the fingers and the palm, there was a thin rope made of metal thread. If the quality was high, it could block the damage from sharp weapons. The sky blue glove is made of sky blue silk. It can block the damage from sharp weapons. It does not block energy attacks. Similarly, it will not affect your heaven-covering hand. The old man said, "Thank you, Grandmaster." Night Sorrow put on the glove and stretched his hand and fingers. He felt very relaxed. He was very satisfied. "All right. You can go back now. I will look for you later." Yu Yangyu still had things to say to the old man, so he let Night Sorrow go first. Night Sorrow left the library. As he walked, he studied the sky blue glove. He knew what material it was made of. Translator, Nyoibo Studio Editor. Nyoibo Studio. The heaven green silk was the silk spat out by the heaven green silkworm. There were records regarding the heaven green silkworm in the Fey Encyclopedia. The heaven green silkworm survived by eating metallic green hillock sand. The heaven green silkworm wasn't afraid of sharp blades, but it was afraid of fire. Night Sorrow understood that the sky blue glove could accompany him until he reached Tier 4. Once he reached Tier 4, the glove would be useless. Tier 4 practitioners had alchemy fire. Normally, alchemy fire did not have much power, but it could destroy the sky blue glove. After studying the sky blue glove, Night Sorrow sat on Chanyu and returned to Taishan Peak. He then put on the sky blue glove and began practicing the Zhenyu hand. Chapter 142. Just as Night Sorrow hurried out of the bamboo grove and was about to ride Chanyu to the square, Gong Xian and the others came back. 11th Senior Brother, I'm sorry. I just went out with Master. When I came back, I was so focused on cultivating that I forgot to cheer you on, Night Sorrow said apologetically. There's no need to cheer. Your 11th Senior Brother was just like you. He went from no ranking to eliminating Lin Tianjue in one go, Always said with a smile. Congratulations, 11th Senior Brother. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Emo Chin. It's really nothing. Their combat experience is nothing to be proud of. Lin Tianjue? If he had the same cultivation as you would have killed him like cutting vegetables. I wonder who put them on such high pedestals, Emo Chin said with a smile. 13. Where did Master take you today? Did anything good happen? Oi asked. Master took me to see Grandmaster. He gave me a glove. Night Sorrow took out the azure glove and handed it to Aoi. This glove is great. Grandmaster treats you well, Aoi said as she threw the glove to Night Sorrow. I'll go cheer for 6th Senior Sister tomorrow, Night Sorrow said. There's no need for that. You've been tired these 2 days. Take a rest, Aoi shook her head and said with a smile. It's okay. One day won't make a difference. Night Sorrow already felt guilty for not going to cheer for Emochin today. 13. The Heaven List ranking battle is a secret of the Medicine Valley. Disciples below the 4th rank are not allowed to participate, Gong Xian said. Eldest Senior Brother, 13 is a Heaven Disciple. He should be able to watch the Heaven List ranking battle with the safety standards of a Heaven Disciple, Yang Lei said after thinking for a while. 9th Senior Sister, I'm not going. I'm going to work hard on my cultivation. There's still a year before that alternate dimension opens. I still don't know how far I can go. Night Sorrow decided not to go. It wasn't that he didn't want to go, but he didn't want to make things difficult for everyone because of his own matters. Gong Xian nodded. All right, then you can stay in your 6th Senior Sister's bamboo grove. Don't push yourself too hard. After returning to the bamboo grove hut, Night Sorrow started to practice his spear arts. He discovered that his speed was not fast enough. On this point, he knew that it was limited by his cultivation. Shi Yunhai and Shi Yunxiao were faster than him because their cultivation was much higher than his. After cultivating his spear art, Night Sorrow returned to the bamboo house to cultivate his true qi and the myriad Dao tome. After waking up the next day, Night Sorrow washed up and began practicing his spear arts. When Aoi went out, Night Sorrow also followed. Senior Sister, I'll send you to the Supreme Mystery Hall. Okay, eat more when you're back. Don't work too hard. Aoi patted Night Sorrow's back. When Aoi and Night Sorrow arrived, Gong Xian and the others were already waiting at the Supreme Mystery Hall. However, they didn't see Yu Yangyu. Following Aoi's inquiry, Night Sorrow knew that Yu Yangyu had already gone to the Dao-seeking cliff. I wish Senior Brother and Senior Sister good success. Yishan clasped his hands as he looked at the crowd. Gong Xian nodded and led Wuqi Huanan and the others to the Dao-seeking cliff. Look at section MK on the H original version. B. 13th junior brother, let's go to the bamboo grove hut to drink. 6th senior sister isn't here. Let's see if you can get a servant girl to get us a jar of azure blood wine. Emo Chin said with a smile. Emo Chin didn't go to the Dao-seeking cliff. He hadn't reached rank 4 yet. Night Sorrow nodded and the two went to the bamboo grove hut. Hey, your master asked you to get us a jar of azure blood wine. We don't have anything to do. We want to drink today. When they arrived at Night Sorrow's hut, Emo Chin said to the servant girl. Chin yelled at the maidservant. Lord Emo, don't make it difficult for us. Miss said that when she's not here no one can get the wine. Lord Emo isn't the first person to do this. Lord sure did it too. Always servant girl looked at Emo Chin and said. I'm going to faint. 6th senior sister is so cruel. Emo Chin rubbed his nose and said. I have to be cruel. 8th senior brother and the others also did this. If 6th senior sister didn't hold back, the wine would have been gone. Night Sorrow said with a smile. At the same time he took out a jar of azure blood wine. He had 2 jars of azure blood wine. The first time Aoi gave him one but he couldn't bear to drink it. 13th junior brother, you have some in stock? Emo Chin opened the jar and sniffed. He was a bit excited. 6th senior sister gave it to me before. I only kept some. Night Sorrow asked the servant girl to bring 2 wine bowls. If you don't give me the wine, then get me some side dishes. Emo Chin looked at the servant girl and was unhappy. He had just lost face and now she was sent away. Night Sorrow and Emo Chin casually drank wine and chatted. Emo Chin was flushed with success. The matter with Guan Yi was a knot in his heart, but it was solved a while ago. Then there was the matter of love, which was also solved with Night Sorrow's help. In addition he took first place on the pill ranking yesterday. After drinking half a jug, Emo Chin looked for a place to sleep. Emo Chin had a bit too much, but Night Sorrow was drinking happily. After drinking 2 more bowls, he held the reincarnation spear and began to cultivate his spear arts. After using up his true chi, Night Sorrow went to meditate and cultivate. After recovering his true chi he continued to cultivate. In the evening Aoi came back. 6th senior sister, how was it? Night Sorrow held the spear and asked. Without eldest senior brother and 9th junior sister, Chu Ling Xiao took first place on the heavenly rankings. This bastard is very fierce. Back then when we were on the pill ranking we fought with him. Now that we are on the heavenly rankings he is still in front. Your 3rd senior brother did well this time and took 3rd place. 6th senior sister, grabbed hold of a tail. In addition your 2nd senior brother took 6th place. Oi said. Not bad. Our Taishan Peak took 3 spots in the top 10. Not bad. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Green blood wine. Did you drink? Aoi approached Night Sorrow and sniffed. Young miss, Lord Mo came and said that you agreed to give them wine. I didn't give it to them. Lord Knight gave them the wine himself. Always Mate came over and said. In the future when they come just give them the 100 herbs wine. Give them less green blood wine each time. Aoi told the maid. Thank you, 6th senior sister. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Didn't you kill the golden silk leopard last time? I used the leopard's bones to brew some wine. The effect should be good. Aoi said with a smile. Then Aoi and Night Sorrow went to see Emo Chin. Emo Chin was lying in the guest room and snoring. Aoi shook her head helplessly and covered Emo Chin with a blanket. He doesn't know how to take care of himself at all. I don't know how to survive all these years. After eating with Aoi, Night Sorrow casually took a walk in the bamboo forest. He wanted to calm down before cultivating. Chapter 143. Sighing helplessly, Night Sorrow returned to his loft to cultivate. He knew that if he wanted to see Sikong Chuyu again he would have to increase his strength. He believed that Sikong Chuyu would not lie to him. Without reaching the 4th tier of cultivation he would not be able to travel long distances. The following days were very peaceful. Night Sorrow cultivated in Aoi's bamboo grove. Yu Yangyu did not arrange a separate place for him to cultivate. On Taishan Peak, almost all the 2nd-generation disciples had their own territory. Yu Yangyu did not arrange a separate area for Night Sorrow because he was worried that Night Sorrow would not be able to take care of himself. Our original E% first. 60/2D During the sect tournament, Night Sorrow ate a drop of cauldron spirit liquid. The effect was very obvious. Night Sorrow's Jinchi did not directly increase, but his cultivation speed increased. His cultivation of the myriad Dao treasured tome was also very fast. In half a month, Night Sorrow cultivated the myriad Dao treasured tome to the peak of the second tier of the muscle strengthening stage. His Jinqi also reached the middle stage of the fourth tier of the element gathering tier. Night Sorrow did not want to cultivate quietly. He planned to accept a mission from Tianji Tower. He planned to fight while cultivating his Jinqi and the myriad Dao treasured tome. After hearing Night Sorrow's plan, Aoi was a bit conflicted. She knew that Night Sorrow's choice was right, but it was a bit dangerous. Guanyi had fallen on this path. Aoi looked for Yang Lei to discuss and then asked Gong Xian. In the end, everyone decided to let Night Sorrow go. At the same time, Yang Lei and Aoi also decided to follow Night Sorrow to Longquan Courtyard. It would be more convenient this way. Night Sorrow did not reject Yang Lei and Aoi's good intentions. He agreed and then went to bid farewell to Yu Yangyu. Yu Yangyu didn't object. He also supported Night Sorrow's decision. After all, he couldn't block a path just because of Guanye's accident. However, Yu Yangyu told the three of them to come back for the apprentice ceremony because there would be new members coming to Taishan Peak. Aoi and Yang Lei might be mentors. After bidding farewell to Yu Yangyu, the three of them left Taishan Peak on their flying beasts and headed straight for Danding City. Night Sorrow sat on Chanyu's back and began to meditate. Night Sorrow didn't want to waste half a day. After arriving at Longquan Courtyard, Hai Luo arranged for the servants to prepare food for everyone. Qiushu then cleaned Aoi and Yang Lei's rooms again. Qiushu was the servant that Aoi gave to Night Sorrow. Before Hai Luo and the others arrived, she had been serving Night Sorrow. Worried that the courtyard's expenses wouldn't be enough, Yang Lei took out some gold notes and gave them to Little Six while eating. The courtyard's expenses aren't small. Arrange it well. Master Yang, young master gave me a lot of gold notes. I can't use them all. Little Six took out a stack of gold notes and showed it to Yang Lei. People in the secular world usually called cultivators master. This was an honorific. In Longquan Courtyard, the servants and maids all called Aoi and Yang Lei this way. However, they called Night Sorrow young master. 13. Where did you get so much money? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in astonishment. Cultivators didn't care about money, but they still needed it. Yang Lei was indeed shocked that Little Six had so many gold notes on him. It's like this. I went on a mission a while ago and got quite a lot from the bandit leader. I exchanged some gold and jewels for gold notes. 6th senior sister, 9th senior sister, take these and buy some clothes. Night Sorrow took out the gold notes from his storage ring and gave them to Aoi and Yang Lei. 13 is indeed magnanimous. But what we have, you can keep it. You're raising a big family like this. Aoi pushed the gold notes back to Night Sorrow. Alright, senior sister, there's one more thing. I got a treasure map to Lu Shan's cave. Let's go take a look when we have time. Night Sorrow thought about the treasure map last time. That's your opportunity. Even if you're senior sister and junior sister, you have to be clear about it, Yang Lei said. But it's indeed dangerous for you to go. Let's take a break first. Yang Lei added when she saw that Night Sorrow was in a dilemma. How about this? Whenever you want to go, we'll go with you, Aoi said. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. When he returned to the Longquan Courtyard, Night Sorrow's mind felt very clear. He knew that this was the effect of the natural array. After cultivating for a night and eating, Night Sorrow rode his Chanyu to Tianji Tower early in the morning. It was the beginning of the month, so he came to see if there were any good missions. Coincidentally, when the attendant brought Night Sorrow into the private room to look at the missions, Enforcer Dong appeared. He sent the attendant to make tea and entered the room with Night Sorrow. Congratulations, newcomer king in the top of the Yuan leaderboard. Enforcer Dong cupped his fists at Night Sorrow. Don't be so courteous with me, Enforcer Dong. I'm here to accept a mission today. By the way, is there any news from Sikon? Night Sorrow asked with anticipation in his eyes. No, it's too far away. Even if there's a letter, it'll take some time. This is the bronze mission list. Enforcer Dong handed a yellow beast skin mission list to Night Sorrow. Looking at the mission list, Night Sorrow accepted 4 of them, all of which were Tier 3 and below. He could now face opponents at the peak of Tier 2, so Tier 3 wasn't something he could touch yet. He knew this very well. After recording the missions, Night Sorrow returned the mission list to Enforcer Dong. Then Enforcer Dong, I'll go do my mission. Be careful. Safety comes first. Enforcer Dong reminded Night Sorrow. After nodding at Enforcer Dong, the two of them left the room. Enforcer Dong went to the bronze mission list and cancelled Night Sorrow's mission. Why did you cancel it? I accepted this mission. In the lobby, A young man looked at Enforcer Dong and said, "The mission was cancelled when it was accepted." "You accepted it too late," Enforcer Dong said. "You accepted the mission?" The young man looked at Night Sorrow. "Yes, I accepted it." Night Sorrow nodded. "Give up the mission and get lost." The young man shouted coldly. "Where do you think this is?" Enforcer Dong was a little angry. This young man was too arrogant. "Isn't this the Golden Flame Sect's area? This is Tianji Tower, but I won't fight in the Tianji Tower. Your Tianji Tower shouldn't get involved in this." The young man looked at Enforcer Dong and said arrogantly, "This is the Medicine Valley's area." At this time, another disciple of the Medicine Valley who was doing a mission spoke. He was a disciple on the Yuan list. Night Sorrow didn't know him, but he knew Night Sorrow. At this time he stood out to help. The competition among the disciples of the Medicine Valley was fierce, but there were external enemies, so they were united. In other places all the forces required the same thing. Competition was necessary, but unity was the foundation of a foothold. Chapter 144. I don't care which sect you are from. Don't mess with me. I took the mission, so it's mine. Night Sorrow looked at Zhang Peng and said coldly, "Are you courting death?" After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Zhang Peng was a little angry. "Who do you think you are? I don't want to talk to you, but you still want to talk to me? Get lost." Zhang Peng's arrogant words made Night Sorrow angry. Zhang Peng's face turned green. He pointed at Night Sorrow and said, "You? Good for you. You want to know my name? Then I'll tell you too. I'm Night Sorrow from Taishin Peak in Medicine Valley." Night Sorrow threw Zhang Peng's words back to him. Enforcer Dong smiled at Night Sorrow. He liked Night Sorrow's character. When he didn't fight back, he was as calm as still water. When he fought back, he was as violent as fire. Be careful when doing missions outside. Don't get bitten by dogs. Night Sorrow nodded at the disciple on the Yuan ranking in Medicine Valley. Recently, Night Sorrow found that the disciples of Medicine Valley were only the black sheep of a certain peak. The rest of the disciples were easy to get along with and were very united. Qiming, Shi Yunxiao, and Shi Yunhai were all very easy to get along with. A few days ago, Lan Yu and Huang Qian from the Crepe Myrtle Peak had come to visit him. They had sparred, and after losing they were all smiles. They even invited Yi Shang to the Crepe Myrtle Peak as a guest. "Thank you for your reminder, Martial Uncle. I'm a disciple of Wuwei Peak. Martial Uncle, you should be careful. By the way, Senior Brother originally wanted to visit Martial Uncle, but he was caught by Senior Sister Lan Yu to do a mission, so he put it on hold." The disciple of Wuwei Peak said. "Who is your senior brother?" Night Sorrow didn't remember knowing the disciple of Wuwei Peak. "My senior brother Feng Yan, 7th on the Yuan ranking." Speaking of this, the disciple of Wuwei Peak was very proud. "Well, I won't be at Taishin Peak recently. I'll go back during the sect's disciple recruitment ceremony. If I have time, I'll visit him." Night Sorrow nodded and said, "You're done?" Zhang Peng looked at Night Sorrow with a gloomy face. "Don't talk so much. I'll take whatever you want. If talking nonsense is useful, then you don't have to cultivate." Yi Shang repeated the words that Lu Yangyu had said to Zhang Peng when he had fought against Su Qinbai in the sect competition. Look at the original chapter of Zhu, section V, I equals P. And? Seeing Yi Shang leave, Zhang Peng followed. Enforcer Dong smiled as he looked at Zhang Peng's back. He didn't say anything. He knew that if Zhang Peng went to find trouble with Yi Shang by himself, he would be looking for trouble. Night Sorrow couldn't see Zhang Peng's cultivation, but Enforcer Dong could. Zhang Peng's cultivation level was in the 8th level of element gathering tier, and Yi Shang's newbie status aside, to be able to obtain first place on the origin roll, he must have defeated quite a few opponents in the peak stage of element gathering tier. Zhang Peng was definitely no match for him. But Enforcer Dong also knew that Zhang Peng, a disciple in the 8th level of element gathering tier, couldn't come to the Medicine Valley by himself. He must have been led by a senior member of Golden Flame sect. In Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow's information had been sent to the higher-ups. The person who came to Tianjin Tower said that if the Golden Silk Leopard was killed by Night Sorrow would get the purple attention if he won the title of Newcomer King. Ordinary people might not know what this meant, but Enforcer Dong knew that Night Sorrow would probably be recruited by Tianjin Tower. Very few people would refuse Tianjin Tower's recruitment, because there was no point and no need to refuse. Tianjin Tower's development didn't conflict with other forces. No matter if it was a sect or a clan, there was no direct intersection of interests. The identity of a sect's disciple or a clan's member could coexist with Tianjin Tower's members. Being recruited and taking the initiative to join the Heaven's Terminus Tower's peripheral organization were two completely different concepts. If you voluntarily joined the outer organization of Tianjin Tower, you would get resources every month, but they would only be ordinary cultivation resources. However, if you were actively recruited by Tianjin Tower, you would get more resources than the disciples of other forces, and your starting point would be different. Enforcer Dong was the young master of the Xikong clan in the Qingtian region. It was very likely that Xikong Tianding, the future head of the clan, had used his connections to arrange a position in Tianjin Tower. However, he would only be a law enforcement officer in a small area. On the other hand, Xikong Chuyu had been actively recruited by Tianjin Tower, so her starting point was to patrol. Enforcer Dong felt a little regretful that the Xikong clan couldn't recruit Knight Sorrow, mainly because the inspectors from Tianjin Tower had come too quickly. Normally, the inspectors would come to investigate once the branch of Tianjin Tower had reported a red notice. The direction of the investigation was to see if this person was qualified for the red notice. However, Yi Chang's performance this year was too outstanding. The person who came last time didn't consider whether Yi Chang was qualified for the red notice and directly confirmed whether he was qualified for the purple notice. While Enforcer Dong was worrying about personal gains and losses, Knight Sorrow left Danding City in a beast carriage. Zhan Peng also sat in a beast carriage and followed Knight Sorrow out of Danding City's city gate. After getting off the beast carriage, Knight Sorrow turned around. You really came. Why not? No one can be arrogant in front of a disciple of the Golden Flame sect and come out unscathed. A golden saber appeared in Zhan Peng's hand. Make your move. Knight Sorrow didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with Jin Zhan. Although he couldn't see Zhan Peng's cultivation level, Knight Sorrow wasn't afraid. Zhan Peng's aura wasn't as strong as the top members of Medicine Valley's Yuan list. There were only two reasons why a cultivator's aura wasn't strong. One was that their cultivation level was extremely high and they had retracted their aura. The other was that their strength wasn't strong. Zhan Peng's aura wasn't strong, and he had accepted a bronze mission, which meant that Zhan Peng belonged to the latter. You're courting death. If I kill you, the Medicine Valley will have to bear with it. Zhan Peng waved his golden saber and rushed towards Knight Sorrow. He didn't care about Knight Sorrow, who was at the 4th level of the Gathering Element realm. He wasn't afraid of the consequences. His confidence came from the fact that the Golden Flame sect was powerful enough. The Golden Flame sect was one of the 7 superpowers in the Eastern Profound Domain. They weren't afraid of the other superpowers, let alone the Medicine Valley. Seeing Zhan Peng make his move, Knight Sorrow waved his right hand and the reincarnation spear on his back appeared in his hand. Then his right arm shook and the spear stabbed towards Zhan Peng. Facing Knight Sorrow's simple attack, Zhan Peng didn't dodge. Instead, he waved his saber to block the attack and continued to rush forward. Ding! The vibration force on Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear blocked Zhan Peng's saber. The spear didn't change and continued to stab forward. At this moment, Zhan Peng's expression changed. He hurriedly dodged. His dodging speed was relatively fast. Knight Sorrow's spear didn't pierce his chest, but it cut through his left forearm, cutting off half of his forearm and left hand. Chapter 145. Zhan Peng covered his broken left arm with his right hand. His face was pale, and he looked at Knight Sorrow and Tianyu with resentment in his eyes. Knight Sorrow wanted to kill Zhan Peng directly. He didn't show any mercy with his spear, but he didn't continue after cutting off Zhan Peng's left arm. Zhan Peng without an arm was no different from killing him. If he really killed Zhan Peng, the Golden Flame sect might punish him. Knight Sorrow didn't want to cause trouble for the Medicine Valley and Taishan Peak. After 4 days, Knight Sorrow finished a time-limited task and returned to the Longquan courtyard. Boy, where did you go? We were worried sick about you, Alway said worriedly when she saw Knight Sorrow come back. I went to do a time-limited task. Little Six, feed Tianyu. There were still 2 days before the task, so Knight Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He let Tianyu rest and asked Little Six to feed him. Do you know that the disciples of the Golden Flame sect are looking for you? Your 9th senior sister went back to find her master, Alway said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment. Then he understood that the matter was serious. There was someone behind Zhan Peng. Now the disciples of the Medicine Valley are looking for you. They are worried that you will be found by the Golden Flame sect. The Golden Flame sect is also looking for you. Of course they don't have good intentions. What's going on? Alway asked Knight Sorrow. Just when Night Sorrow was about to explain, Yu Yangyu appeared. Gong Xian and the others also came. Greetings, Master. Greetings, senior brothers and sisters. Night Sorrow bowed to Yu Yangyu. Yu Yangyu nodded. It's good that you are back. I will solve any problems. After speaking, Yu Yangyu entered the main building and sat down. Why 7% forever MK free? Read a novel, 6th senior sister. What's going on? The impatient Yang Lei asked Aoi. 13 just came back. I'm not sure. Aoi shook her head. Then, Night Sorrow explained what had happened. Master, this disciple has caused trouble for you. Night Sorrow said with some guilt. Do you regret it? Yu Yangyu didn't comment on the matter. Instead he asked. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, I don't regret it. I won't cause any trouble for the sect. I'll leave later and go out to train. It's good that you don't regret it. Why did you leave? I can take responsibility for this matter. If something like this happens again, I will kill him directly. Yu Yangyu said coldly. Master, before I went back to see you, I walked around Danding City and found many disciples of the Golden Flame sect. Yang Lei said. Something has happened. The Golden Flame sect seems to have gotten the news that the Medicine Valley has found the Holy Cauldron Sutra. 13's matter was the first confrontation. Yu Yangyu said. How could the Golden Flame sect know about this? Gong Xian looked at Yu Yangyu in shock. If the Golden Flame sect knew about this matter, it would be a big problem. The news about the Holy Cauldron Sutra is only known to the people of Taishan Peak, a few Grand Elders and some higher-ranking elders. If this matter is leaked, it means that the Golden Flame sect has already infiltrated the higher-ups of the Medicine Valley. Yu Yangyu said with a gloomy expression. If the Golden Flame sect is worried about the rise of the Medicine Valley, they may make a series of moves. They may even find an excuse to declare war. Gong Xian said. Yes, but the possibility is not high. To be honest, we also have people in the Golden Flame sect. Currently, the Golden Flame sect is not sure if the Medicine Valley has really found the Holy Cauldron Sutra. In addition, if the Golden Flame sect starts a war with the Medicine Valley will be defeated, but the Golden Flame sect will also suffer a great loss. Even then, the Golden Flame sect will not be able to resist the encroachment of the other 6 superpowers. Yu Yangyu analyzed. It seems that they came to the Medicine Valley in large numbers to cause trouble. Then let's fight. Let's see if they can afford it. They even chased us out of the city gate to cause trouble. We have given them face. Yang Lei's face was filled with murderous intent. Alright, Shirsan, follow me to the Golden Flame Pavilion in Danding City. Let's see what they want to do. Yu Yangyu stood up and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He originally planned to take the blame himself, but now it seemed that this was not only his problem, but also the Medicine Valley's problem. Because before this, some of the Medicine Valley's disciples had already been injured by the Golden Flame sect's disciples. The Golden Flame Pavilion was the Golden Flame sect's stronghold in Danding City. After arriving at the Golden Flame Pavilion, Yu Yangyu did not plan to let his disciples follow him. However, Gong Xian and Yang Lei still followed him. After entering the Golden Flame Pavilion's lobby, Yu Yangyu sat down and shouted to his followers, Tell your people to come see me. Who are you? This is the Golden Flame Pavilion. The Golden Flame sect's disciple took out his weapon and looked at Yu Yangyu. Who are you? Didn't your Golden Flame sect say that you want to catch Night Sorrow? Night Sorrow is here. Yang Lei said. The followers in the lobby all held their weapons and were on alert. At the same time, one of them went to report. Before this lackey could leave the hall, a green-robed old man appeared. Yu Yangyu, did you come to the wrong place to show off? The old man entered the lobby and sat on the main seat. Did I come to the wrong place to show off? Then did the Golden Flame sect's disciples come to the right place to show off in Danding City? Yu Yangyu sneered. Don't forget, the Medicine Valley is a subsidiary force of the Golden Flame sect. The entire northeastern region of the East Black Continent is under the influence of the Golden Flame sect. The old man said unhurriedly as he took a sip of the tea served by his lackeys. It's true that the Medicine Valley is a subsidiary force of the Golden Flame sect. However, at the same time, the Medicine Valley is in charge of the Medicine Valley. This is a rule. Take back your claws. Don't try to show off in front of me. You Zhanqinghe are not good enough. Yu Yangyu said loudly. His words were not polite. Yu Yangyu, what do you mean by this? Does the Medicine Valley want to become enemies with the Golden Flame sect? Zhanqinghe stood up and pointed at Yu Yangyu. So what if we become enemies? So what if we don't become enemies? The Medicine Valley doesn't need anyone to tell us what to do. We don't mind some small things, but it's not the right for you to take advantage of us. Catch Night Sorrow? He's right here. Who wants to catch him? Let's see if I can chop off his claws. Yu Yangyu stood up and pointed at Night Sorrow. His words were domineering. He didn't seem to be at a disadvantage just because the Medicine Valley was a subsidiary force of the Golden Flame sect. You? The Golden Flame sect won't let this go. Zhang Qinghe really wanted to kill Night Sorrow right now, but he didn't dare to. With his cultivation at the peak of the 4th stage, even Gong Xian and Yang Lei couldn't handle him. Chapter 146. Master, what's the cultivation level of the person inside? I only felt an oppressive aura, Yang Lei asked. Much higher than yours. This guy knew that he had to come out. Plus, Zhang Qinghe couldn't gain the upper hand, so he didn't come out. This also means that the Golden Flame sect doesn't have the confidence to shed all pretense of cordiality. Yu Yangyu looked back at the Golden Flame Pavilion and said, Master, what should we do next? Yang Lei asked. The Golden Flame Pavilion's cultivation level is very high. The cultivation of the guy in the Golden Fire Pavilion is not simple. He should be an elder of the Golden Fire sect. Since he sent an elder here, it seems that the Golden Fire sect has set their eyes on this place. Then we will fight back. Before I came here, I met the Great Elder and he gave me full authority to deal with this matter. The other peaks will cooperate fully. I plan to set up a few law enforcement teams and arrange a few strong captains. As long as there are people causing trouble in the Medicine Valley, they will be dealt with. After Yu Yangyu and the others left the Golden Flame Pavilion, an old man in a brocade robe came to the hall of the Golden Flame Pavilion. Elder Qi, this Yu Yangyu is too arrogant, Zhang Qinghe said. He does have the right to be arrogant. I didn't expect his disciple to have reached the 5th rank. The old man in the brocade robe sighed as he looked at the street outside with his hands behind his back. Elder Qi, what should we do now? What should we do to capture Night Sorrow's disciple outside? Zhang Qinghe's expression was not good because he was not even as good as Yu Yangyu's disciple. Yu Yangyu's behavior is unreasonable. Don't provoke them for the time being. Tell the disciples to be more restrained and communicate with the rogue cultivators in the Danding City area. The sect will also communicate with the forces in the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley must be attacked. The main thing is to see if the other information is true. The old man in the brocade robe made arrangements. Yu Yangyu could make decisions on behalf of the Medicine Valley, but the old man in the brocade robe couldn't. This was also related to the different directions of the sect's development. Medicine Valley did not seek hegemony, nor did they seek to expand their sphere of influence. However, in their own land they would not give in to anyone who crossed the line. This was their tradition. No matter which peak master it was, he could make the decision. Even if blood flowed like rivers, the disciples of the Medicine Valley would fight to the end. However, the Golden Flame sect was different. The Golden Flame sect's development strategy was huge. They had to consider the threat of the other 6 superpowers and expand their influence. Therefore, they couldn't just attack anyone they wanted. The main reason was that the Medicine Valley was very strong. It was one of the strongest among the Golden Flame sect's subordinate forces. The Medicine Valley had been rooted in the Eastern Profound Domain for countless years and was deeply rooted in the Eastern Profound Domain. It wasn't easy to destroy it. After leaving the Golden Flame Pavilion, Yu Yangyu made arrangements. Yang Lei and Aoi stayed in the Dragon Spring Courtyard, while the others went back to the Medicine Valley to make arrangements for the law enforcement team. One day later, 3 law enforcement teams from the Medicine Valley were stationed in Danding City. One team was led by Gong Xian, while the other 2 were led by Chu Lingxiao and Yi Shuai from the Wuwei Peak. This was the first action taken by the Medicine Valley. In addition, the elders of the sect led people to patrol the area under the influence of the Medicine Valley to warn the small forces that were ready to make trouble. Forever 2 watch videos for free / talk 6. The person in charge of this operation was appointed by the first elder and the Valley Master. The person in charge was Yu Yangyu. The Medicine Valley attached great importance to this matter. The other peak masters also arrived in Danding City to deal with the upcoming situation. It had been a long time since the Medicine Valley made such a big move. The main reason was that too many disciples of the Golden Flame sect had come to Danding City. They could even form groups to capture Night Sorrow. How could the situation not be serious? It really corresponded to the saying, "The wind blows before the mountain storm." After returning to the Dragon Spring Courtyard to cultivate for a night, Night Sorrow went to the Tianji Tower to hand in his mission. There was a time limit for the mission he completed, so he had to hand it in as soon as possible. Seeing Night Sorrow, Law enforcement Dong smiled. He knew the current situation in Danding City and the cause. However, he did not expect that Night Sorrow would cut off one of Zhangping's hands. He had sent a letter to the headquarters of the Qinji Tower in the Eastern Profound Domain. This was not because Night Sorrow had reached such a high level. The situation in the Medicine Valley was delicate, so the Qinji Tower had to know about it. They also reported Night Sorrow's matter. Purple attention was not a small matter, not to mention that Night Sorrow was the first on the Yuan ranking in the Medicine Valley. Law enforcement Dong, I'm here to hand in my mission, Night Sorrow said. I'm relieved to see you. It's good that the Golden Flame sect did not catch you. However, your master is indeed domineering. Law enforcement Dong said with a smile. He also knew that Yu Yangyu had gone to the Golden Flame sect. Now that the disciples of the Golden Flame sect did not come out, it meant that the Golden Flame sect did not have the confidence to deal with this matter. They went too far. That guy followed me out of the city and wanted to kill me. Then I had no reason to be polite, Night Sorrow said. True, but you have to be careful when you go out in the future. Don't get ambushed, Law enforcement Dong reminded Night Sorrow after exchanging the mission reward. After leaving the Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow's body trembled. He took 2 steps back and looked around. Then he found the source of the problem. It was the driver of a beast carriage. It was an old man. Although he was smiling, Night Sorrow felt a murderous aura and danger. This was his intuition. Night Sorrow got up and returned to the Tianji Tower. Hey, why are you back? Law enforcement Dong asked in surprise. Law enforcement Dong was right. I'm being targeted. This person is really planning to ambush me. I can't fight against that person. If he attacks, I won't even have a chance to escape. Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. Danding City forbade violence. However, if the attacker was extremely powerful and left quickly after the attack, this rule would not be a deterrent. What's his cultivation? Law enforcement Dong asked. I don't know. I just instinctively feel that it's dangerous. Night Sorrow shook his head. Law enforcement Dong brought Night Sorrow to a room on the 4th floor of the Tianji Tower. Law enforcement Dong gently opened the window. Is it the old man in green? Yes, that's him. What's his cultivation? Night Sorrow asked. Rank 4, rank 3. If you don't look carefully, you won't be able to tell. His camouflage ability is very strong. A carriage driver with 3 levels of spirit severing. It seems like he's really targeting you. You can rest here and wait for him to leave. Or you can ask the disciples of the Medicine Valley who are doing the mission to send someone to pick you up. Law enforcement Dong closed the window and said to Night Sorrow. He was really impressed by Night Sorrow. He looked around and saw the old man. Night Sorrow realized that this was his instinct when he came out of the Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow's intuition for danger was too terrifying. Night Sorrow nodded. This was the only way. He didn't have any other choice. If a rank 4 cultivator attacked him, he would die. He wouldn't be able to resist at all. When they reached the hall on the 1st floor, Night Sorrow made tea. Law enforcement Dong didn't accompany him. After all, it wasn't appropriate. The people outside the Tianji Tower could see Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow could also see outside. He was waiting for the disciples of the Medicine Valley. If there was a suitable one, he would spread the news. Chapter 147. Senior Brother Chu. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted Chu Lingxiao. Chu Lingxiao, who was passing by, stopped and walked over with his men. Junior Brother Knight, are you here for a mission? This is an emergency. Be careful. I'm not safe now. Hurry up and catch him. Night Sorrow pointed at the green-robed old man and shouted. Seeing Chu Lingxiao talking to Night Sorrow, the green-robed old man knew that he couldn't do anything and planned to leave. But Night Sorrow wouldn't let him go so easily. He shouted at Chu Lingxiao. Chu Lingxiao followed Night Sorrow's finger and saw the green-robed old man. His expression changed and he moved to stop the beast carriage. As soon as Chu Lingxiao moved, the people he led surrounded the carriage. I didn't notice. You almost slipped away. A long sword appeared in Chu Lingxiao's hand. What do you mean? I'm driving a beast carriage to earn some pocket money. Is that in anyone's way? The old man said. 3rd grade divine clone? Driving a beast carriage to earn some pocket money? Who are you trying to fool? 3rd grade divine clone ambushing a 4th grade gathering element cultivator? You're shameless. I'm not going to waste my time with you. Chu Lingxiao attacked as soon as he finished speaking. After Chu Lingxiao attacked, the green-robed old man began to fight back. But the gap between them was too big. After a few rounds, the old man's ribs were pierced by Chu Lingxiao's sword chi and he lost his ability to fight. I'm a disciple of the Golden Flame sect. You dare to attack me? The old man who lost his ability to fight finally revealed his identity. If it was something else, the Medicine Valley might tolerate it. Ambushing an elite disciple of the Medicine Valley? Then I'm sorry. Chu Ling Xiao waved the long sword in his right hand and beheaded the green-robed old man. At this moment, Chu Ling Xiao had nothing to do with being gentle and refined. He had a reason to kill the old man because the Golden Flame sect's disciples had appeared. The leader was Zhan Qinghe. If he didn't kill them, the situation would change. After killing the green-robed elder, Chu Ling Xiao sheathed his sword and asked Zhan Qinghe, "Enforcer Zhan, this person attacked my Medicine Valley's elite disciple and even said that he was from your Golden Flame sect. Is he one of your people?" Zhan Qinghe was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He only asked after killing him. Wasn't this intentional? Originally, Zhan Qinghe had planned to use pressure and negotiation to exchange for the old man. He was one of the elite members who had followed Elder Qi here. What's wrong? Are they really from the Golden Flame sect? Then what do you mean? Are you going to attack the disciples of the Medicine Valley? Chu Ling Zhao's expression changed as he sternly questioned. At the same time, the law enforcement team he led also drew their weapons and prepared to fight. I don't know either. I'll take the body back and ask if it's a member of the Golden Flame sect. At this time, Zhan Qinghe could not use force. If he used force, he would have to fight. The Medicine Valley was ready for a fight, but the Golden Flame sect had not given any further instructions. Okay, we want to know who this guy is. If you have any results, please let us know, Chu Ling Xiao said as he put away his long sword. Zhan Qinghe snorted coldly and called for people to take the body of the old man in the green robe away. Everyone had a tacit understanding, but they didn't open their mouths. Once the topic was opened, it would be a real full-scale war. This battle ended once again with the Medicine Valley gaining the upper hand. The attitude of the Medicine Valley was clear. If you dare to cause trouble, I dare to kill you. Thank you, Senior Brother Chu. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get out of this door. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Chu Ling Xiao. We're all brothers. You're welcome. You did well today. Don't be impulsive. They're all elites now. You really can't be reckless. Chu Ling Xiao was a little scared. Night Sorrow was smart. He didn't come out of the Tianji Tower and didn't give that guy a chance. Otherwise Night Sorrow would have died. Not to mention the Yuan Gathering Realm, even the Core Condensation Realm couldn't escape from a Spirit-Severing Realm cultivator. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Where are you going? I'll ask someone to send you there. Chu Ling Xiao looked at Night Sorrow and said. Update asterisk. The soonest you update. Thank you, Senior Brother Chu. I can go by myself. If there's danger, I'll avoid it, Night Sorrow said. No, it's not your problem now. You fought with that arrogant disciple of the Golden Flame sect and cut off his hand. You're showing the prestige of the Medicine Valley. If something happens to you, the Medicine Valley will lose face, Chu Ling Xiao refuted Night Sorrow. He was mainly worried about Night Sorrow's safety. I see. Then send me to the city gate. I'll go to the Dragon Spring courtyard, Night Sorrow said in a low voice. He couldn't let the Golden Flame sect find out. Fifth brother, seventh brother, you two send junior brother Night Sorrow to the city gate. Be careful. If junior brother Night Sorrow has something to do, go to the city lord's mansion. Marshal Uncle Lu and the other marshal uncles are all there, Chu Ling Xiao said to the two members of the law enforcement team. At the same time, he also reminded Night Sorrow to be careful. After exiting the city gate and bidding farewell to his escorts, Yi Shang sat on Tianyu and left Danding City. He hurried for a while and made a small circle. When he didn't find anyone following him, he returned to Longquan Courtyard. So late? You took so long to hand in the task. Seeing Night Sorrow coming back, Aoi complained. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that there was no need to hide it, so he told her what happened. How shameless. The Golden Flame sect is so aggressive. I'll go and kill their disciples now. Hearing that Night Sorrow was ambushed, Yang Lei was furious. Ninth sister, it's not appropriate. If you directly attack them, it will cause more conflict. If that happens, the Golden Flame sect will have to fight. It's completely unnecessary. That bastard Chu Ling Xiao did a good job today. Always stop the furious Yang Lei. 13. I'll secretly follow you tomorrow and see who dares to attack you. Yang Lei thought for a while and didn't refute Aoi. It was indeed not a good time to attack. The Golden Flame sect's disciples could be killed, but if they took the initiative to attack, the conflict would intensify. The Medicine Valley wasn't afraid of war, but it was better to avoid it. After all, if they fought with the Golden Flame sect, it would be a fatal blow to the Medicine Valley. If the Golden Flame sect didn't let the Medicine Valley gain a foothold, then the Medicine Valley would definitely fight back. If the Golden Flame sect could restrain themselves, then the war wouldn't break out. The Medicine Valley needed time to find the sacred cauldron scripture. Okay, then you can follow me tomorrow. But I'm doing the task to train myself, so you don't have to do anything. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei left the courtyard to do the task. The task was to kill 2 peak tier 2 black-scaled beasts that were attacking the village. This task wasn't difficult for Night Sorrow. He had hunted black-scaled beasts before, but they were still underage. These 2 black-scaled beasts were much stronger than the one Night Sorrow had killed. However, Night Sorrow was no longer the same as before. He finished the battle in 15 minutes. Chapter 148. This letter was brought by someone from the Eastern Profound Region headquarters. Sikong Chuyu was the inspector of Tianji Tower. Passing a letter through Tianjin Tower was a very simple matter. After reading the letter, Night Sorrow felt a lot more at ease. Sikong Chuyu had already arrived at Yunwu Mountain, and the Sikong clan couldn't reach there yet. Although Yunwu Mountain wasn't as powerful as the Sikong clan, they still couldn't be easily provoked. Moreover, they were relatives. Sikong Tianding was happy to see such a scene. His daughter was safe and protected from the attack from the clan. This was a good thing for him. The letter was several pages long. Apart from introducing his situation, the rest was about Night Sorrow's advice and concern. Sikong Chuyu told him to work hard and cultivate. If he could get the attention of Tianjin Tower, it would be best if he could enter Tianjin Tower. This was an opportunity for Night Sorrow to get out of this area. If he could enter Tianjin Tower, it would be much easier for Night Sorrow to see her. After folding the letter, Night Sorrow put it away. At this moment, Night Sorrow was very excited. He had always been worried about Sikong Chuyu's situation. He was very worried that the Sikong clan would take him back. Although his father would take care of it, it was still a troublesome matter. Sikong Chuyu's safety was no longer a problem. Night Sorrow's concern turned into longing. The silhouette of Sikong Chuyu, wearing a long robe and covered with a light veil, appeared in his mind. Night Sorrow, what did Miss say to you? Enforcer Dong asked. In the public square of Tianjin Tower, Enforcer Dong called her Lord. In private, he called her Mississippi. She didn't say anything. She just said that she's very good, Night Sorrow said. Miss is very good to you. She still wrote to you from so far away. You can't let her down, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. I won't. I definitely won't. Night Sorrow nodded very seriously. Someone from above wants to see you. The letter was also brought by someone from above, Enforcer Dong said. You want to see me? Then Enforcer Dong, take me there. Night Sorrow was shocked. I can see the top management of Tianji Tower now? This shouldn't be the case. Let's go. Enforcer Dong led Night Sorrow to the top floor of Tianji Tower. In the room on the top floor, Night Sorrow saw a man in a black robe. The black-robed man's back was facing Night Sorrow. His figure was tall and straight, and his black hair was tied to the top of his head. There was a thread at the back of his head that was connected to a mask. At this moment, the man turned around and sized up Night Sorrow. He was wearing a half mask, so the upper part of his nose was visible. Sit. The man sat down first. Night Sorrow nodded and found a place to sit down. He wasn't nervous. This person probably didn't have any ill intentions. I've read your information and learned about it personally. Very good. Enforcer Dong, tell him about our Tianji Tower's recruitment of talents, the man said to Enforcer Dong. Enforcer Dong repeated what he had told Night Sorrow before. Enforcer Dong, you can leave first. The black-robed man sent Enforcer Dong away. Obviously, he didn't want Enforcer Dong to know about the following conversation. Night Sorrow also understood this point. You know the situation. The probability of red talents being recruited is very low. Even if they are recruited, they will only go to the periphery. The probability of purple talents being recruited is very high. It can be said that they will basically be recruited. However, after being recruited, they will go to the periphery or the inner circle. It depends on their performance. At present, your cultivation path has just started. Tianji Tower will give you some resources for your cultivation, the black-robed man said to Night Sorrow. If they give me cultivation resources now, aren't they worried that I won't accept Tianji Tower's arrangement in the future? Or will I have to accept Tianji Tower's arrangement when the time comes? Night Sorrow asked the doubts in his heart. To be able to consider the future, your thoughts are very meticulous. You can rest assured on this point. To do a little bit of effort to nurture outstanding talents, the Extreme Heaven Tower has this kind of spirit. At the very least, the cultivators who have been supported by the Extreme Heaven Tower in the future will not turn against the Extreme Heaven Tower, don't you think so? If you think about the downside, this is a kind of investment. After all, those who can get purple talents will definitely have achievements as long as they don't have any problems, the black-robed man said after carefully sizing up Night Sorrow for a while. Then I accept. I don't know what the future will be like. At the very least, I won't bite the hand that feeds me. Night Sorrow nodded. Well said. There are currently 18 people who have purple talents in the headquarters of Eastern Shin region, and your answer is the only one. In fact, I don't like people who swear loyalty when they open their mouths and say they will die before they close their mouths. They are too hypocritical. Who doesn't think for themselves? The black-robed man said with a smile. A man without desires is strong. If I am restricted too much, I will think about this and that every day and I will feel uneasy, Night Sorrow said. That's right. There are indeed no restrictions at the moment. Even if you decide to enter Chenji Tower, there will be few restrictions. This is my sincere words, the black-robed man said. I understand. From your words, I can feel Chenji Tower's style of doing things. Night Sorrow believed the black-robed man's words because he was sincere. These are the resources that belong to you. 3 bottles of top-grade energy-gathering pills and 1 energy-breaking pill. When you cultivate, try to increase your speed as much as possible under the condition that your foundation is stable, because this is related to the degree of your attention. The black-robed man took out 4 bottles of pills and pushed them in front of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow opened the bottle of energy-gathering pills and took a look at them. He took out the pills he refined and looked at the differences in the middle. After a while he put them down. They are indeed better than the ones I refined. The color is bright and the efficacy is high. The main thing is that there are almost no impurities. You can refine pills? Let me see the best pills you refined. The black-robed man's voice was a little surprised. His eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and took out the bottle of leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill. He opened it and took out 1 pill and handed it to the black-robed man. Permanently exempt from plus? Cost. 3 look/small PRC. The black-robed man took the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill and looked at it. He rubbed his fingers and pinched a little bit of the pill. Then he put it into his mouth from under the mask and closed his eyes to feel it for a while. A pill that strengthens the body and is also an auxiliary pill. This is very rare. I will keep this half of the pill and take it back to appraise its medicinal properties. Don't worry. Chenji Tower will not use this pill without a circulating pill formula. They will not refine this kind of pill. Even if they want to refine it, they will ask for your permission. The black-robed man put away the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill. This is nothing. Night Sorrow nodded. Chapter 149. Yishang nodded and left. The Empyrean Terminus Tower's attitude made him feel much better. When he read the letter from Sikong Chuyu telling him to try his best to join Chenji Tower, Night Sorrow was still a little conflicted because he didn't want to be restricted and restrained. However, he had already decided that if he could see Sikong Chuyu, it would be worth it to suffer a little. After listening to the black-robed old man's words, Night Sorrow understood that even if he joined Chenji Tower, he wouldn't suffer any grievances. Chenji Tower was very generous, which was also the reason why Tianjin Tower could develop to its current scale. As soon as Night Sorrow arrived at the lobby on the first floor, Yang Lei quickly walked over. What have you been doing? What took you so long? Originally, Yang Lei had been waiting for Night Sorrow on a street outside Tianji Tower. After waiting for a long time, Night Sorrow still hadn't come out. She became anxious and went directly to the lobby of Tianji Tower. Let's go first. We'll talk later. Night Sorrow left Tianji Tower with Yang Lei and went to a restaurant. He asked for a private room and ordered a few dishes. What's going on? Yang Lei was still a little anxious. However, it didn't take much time to hand over the mission. Night Sorrow had been in there for more than an hour. Sikong Chuyu sent me a letter. She has returned to Qingtian Domain and is with her grandfather. She's safe. Night Sorrow first told her about Sikong Chuyu. Well, that's good. Now that she's safe, you can settle down and work hard on your cultivation. That way it will be easier to see her. You should know that those big families are very troublesome. They judge people by their strength. Yang Lei nodded. She was also very concerned about Sikong Chuyu. I know. Also, I got some benefits from Chenji Tower. Night Sorrow repeated what the black-robed old man had told him. The black-robed old man didn't say that this matter couldn't be told to outsiders. Besides, Yang Lei wasn't an outsider. This is a good thing. You have to seize this opportunity. Entering Tianji Tower is the dream of all cultivators. However, Tianji Tower's recruitment of talents is too harsh. Our Taishan Peak's highest-ranking disciple only received red attention. In the end, it was left unsettled, Yang Lei said. Why is the effect of the soul-gathering pill he gave me better than the soul-gathering pill I refined? Night Sorrow took out the soul-gathering pill the black-robed man gave him and asked. This is the work of a high-level alchemist. At the very least, your sixth senior sister can't concoct it, Yang Lei said. Then she told Night Sorrow the difference between the soul-gathering pill and the ordinary one. The energy in the soul-gathering pill was purer and easier to absorb. There was almost no pill poison, so he could use it without worry. Well, Tianji Tower is really sincere. Night Sorrow put away the soul-gathering pill and planned to try it when he returned to the Longquan courtyard. The Empyrean Terminus Tower has branches in the 9 realms and 18 states. They are very powerful. The better you perform, the more attention you will receive from the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Also, don't tell others about this. The Empyrean Terminus Tower doesn't like flamboyant people. Yang Lei reminded Yishang. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew what Yang Lei meant. Tianji Tower's information network was very powerful. They might know what you said the moment you said it. After eating with Yang Lei, the two took a stroll around Danding City to see the current situation between the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley. F-Unique, G is the original L version, its a he, all P, is WT Steel our unspecified currency version Y. Currently in Danding City, the Medicine Valley's disciples were patrolling everywhere. The Golden Flame sect's disciples were much more obedient. After walking around, the two returned to the Longquan courtyard. In the Longquan courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei. 11th senior brother, sister Lingfei, you're here. Night Sorrow greeted the two when he saw them. 13 I heard about what happened. If you meet anyone who messes with you in the future, kill them, Mo Chen said with a cold face. Mo Chen said coldly. A few days ago he had gone to the Chu clan with Chu Lingfei, so when he found out that Zhang Peng had followed Yishan out of the city to attack him, he was furious. Senior brother, don't be angry. It's not that serious. I cut off that kid's hand and didn't continue. I wanted to kill him. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with the others in the courtyard for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the second floor of the courtyard. He ate a soul-gathering pill and a leopard embryo muscle-strengthening pill and began to cultivate. During this cultivation, Yishang found that the top-grade soul-gathering pill was easier to absorb and convert than half a spirit-congealing pill. His refining speed had increased a lot, which was equivalent to increasing his cultivation speed. The efficiency was different. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow woke up early. After a night of testing, he found that using the soul-gathering pill was faster, but refining the spirit concentration pill had some drawbacks. After stretching his muscles and bones, Night Sorrow began to practice his spear arts and footwork in the practice field. These two were currently his main fighting methods. As for the Zhenyu hand, Night Sorrow only used it at critical times. It consumed too much energy. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, the others were chatting and watching Night Sorrow cultivate. Yishang only stopped when he was drenched in sweat. Are you going to continue to do missions today? Yang Lei asked after throwing a towel to Night Sorrow. Yes, if it doesn't delay my cultivation, I plan to get a silver token to play with. Night Sorrow said his decision with a smile. There was a reason for Yishang's decision. The attention level of the Empyrean Terminus Tower depended on one's performance in many aspects. Being able to upgrade the Qingtong token to a silver token as soon as possible was also an indication of one's qualifications. It's good that you have this idea, but there are some bronze missions that you can't do. There are many bronze missions that even core condensation cultivators are scared of. You can only start from the low-level bronze missions. You have to take the black iron missions with high points. Mo Chen said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. After packing up, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei set off. Night Sorrow still has 2 bronze missions to complete. 2 missions, one is to go to the Ice Mountain to collect 3 bottles of ice spring water. Night Sorrow has been to the Ice Mountain before. When he took the Ironback Bear's gallbladder mission, he did it on the Ice Mountain. However, it was halfway up the mountain. This time he was going to the top of the mountain. The ice spring water at the top of the Ice Mountain can't be faked. Only ice jade bottles can hold it. Other containers will instantly freeze and crack. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei rode the Chanyu and the Azure Eagle to the top of the ice mountain. 13. Be careful. You can't fly after 10,000 meters. There are flying monsters above. You can't be discovered. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. Snow eagles are social monsters. If they were discovered, it would be a big problem. Of course, this is under the condition that Yang Lei doesn't make a move. The two have already agreed that if they don't meet people from the Golden Flame sect, Yang Lei won't make a move. She only followed Night Sorrow because the Golden Flame sect wanted to assassinate Night Sorrow. Chapter 150. The cause of the matter was that Chu Ning, Tang Tian, and a few other Tai Shen Peak disciples were eating in a restaurant. Perhaps they were talking too loudly about Yishang's fight for the Yuan role. As a result, the Golden Flame sect disciples at another table were unhappy. They quarreled and ended up fighting. Chu Ning and the others were not even in the third level of gathering element, so they were no match for the Golden Flame sect disciples who came out to train. As a result, they were beaten black and blue. They were discovered by the Medicine Valley's patrol team and started fighting. In the end, the Medicine Valley disciples were at a disadvantage. The leader of the Golden Flame sect disciples was a middle-aged man with a high cultivation level. As the fight escalated, Gong Xian and Yi Shui's patrol team arrived. Seeing this, Gong Xian immediately took action. He beat up the leader of the Golden Fire sect along with a few other disciples, and even made them apologize. Such an incident naturally alarmed Zhang Qinghe of the Golden Flame Pavilion. Zhang Qinghe came and refused to apologize. He wanted to take them away. Gong Xian naturally disagreed. Chu Ning and Tang Tian were both his disciples. They were beaten up by Sumu some time ago. Sumu was from the Medicine Valley, so he couldn't react too violently. Now that they were from the Golden Flame sect, of course he wouldn't tolerate it. Yu Yangyu and the other peak masters had made a decision. The Golden Flame sect couldn't do anything extreme in the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley recognized the Golden Flame sect's status and also acknowledged the Medicine Valley as its subordinate force. However, it only handed over resources. The Golden Flame sect couldn't reach into the Medicine Valley. That way, the Medicine Valley would slowly be nibbled away and eventually lose its place of survival. Gong Xian, it's not good for you to do this. Do you really want to escalate the conflict? Zhang Qinghe said with a cold face. Escalate the conflict? That's your fault. You came to slap us in the face and then we retaliated and escalated the conflict? Are you going to apologize or not? If not, I'll let your enforcers take your corpses back. Gong Xian's long sword fell on the neck of the Golden Flame sect's leader. I apologize, I apologize. This middle-aged disciple of the Golden Flame sect was a level 4 spirit severing stage cultivator, but in the face of death, he chose to compromise. There was nothing he could do about it. If he did not apologize, Gong Xian would kill him. The Golden Flame sect would avenge him after his death. Between losing his life and compromising, he could only choose to compromise. Get lost. Gong Xian kicked the man in front of Zhang Qinghe. Gong Xian, have you thought of the consequences of doing this? Zhang Qinghe's face was ashen. Today the Golden Flame sect had lost face. The area that our Medicine Valley relies on for survival has been invaded. What consequences are there to consider? Instead of being slowly nibbled away, we'll just fight to the death. We disciples of the Medicine Valley have the courage to do so. If you don't believe me, you can let the disciples of the Golden Flame sect continue to provoke us. Gong Xian snorted coldly and left with the enforcement team, Chu Ning and the other disciples of the Tai Shen Peak. Zhang Qinghe was so angry that he stomped his feet. He went over and slapped the injured disciples of the Golden Flame sect. Then he turned and left. He had to report this matter. The situation was very difficult to deal with. The original plan was to slowly encroach on the Medicine Valley's ruling power in Danding City. However, the Medicine Valley was like an enraged lion. As long as there was a threat in their territory, they would attack without hesitation. As for the determination of the Medicine Valley, Zhang Qinghe did not doubt it. If the Medicine Valley did not have the determination to fight to the death, they would not be so domineering. After returning to the Golden Flame Pavilion, Zhang Qinghe went to report to Elder Qi. Night Sorrow sat on Chanyu and flew to a height of nearly 10,000 meters before stopping. He put Chanyu back into the beast-taming space and slowly moved forward with the reincarnation spear. The difficulty of this mission lay in how to avoid the demonic beasts. After all, demonic beasts ran rampant on this ice mountain. The probability of being discovered was very high. Yang Lei put away the green condor and followed behind Night Sorrow. She would not help Night Sorrow with the mission, but she would also not hinder Night Sorrow. She followed closely behind Night Sorrow. The appearance of demonic beasts was also because of Night Sorrow. It was also a training that should be part of the mission. Night Sorrow moved forward very quickly. From time to time he would look at the demonic beast's footprints on the ground. Based on the demonic beast's footprints, he could distinguish the information of the nearby demonic beasts. Halfway up the ice mountain, the ground was covered with snow that had been frozen hard by the cold air. It was not easy to leave a mark on it. Halfway up the mountain, it was even more ridiculous. Snowflakes were constantly falling. However, it was precisely because of the snowflakes that Night Sorrow could better detect the information of the demonic beast. As they moved forward, Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow's ability to avoid danger was too strong. He had already avoided many demonic beasts. Yang Lei's detection area was very large. She could detect places that Night Sorrow could not. This was because she could sense the energy in the demonic beasts' bodies. The energy fluctuations could not be hidden from her. However, Night Sorrow could not. His cultivation had not reached that level. He avoided the demonic beasts by relying on his sight, smell, and instinct for danger. They reached the top of the ice mountain without any danger. The area of a normal mountain peak might not be large. However, the area of the ice mountain peak was large. It was a small snowfield. According to the mission records, the ice spring at the top of the mountain existed in the middle of the snowfield. The symbol was a 10,000-year-old ancient birch tree. The ice spring was right next to the ancient birch tree. Senior sister, do you think that Tianji Tower understood the mission so clearly and directly completed it? Why did they have to go through so much trouble? Night Sorrow whispered. They did not come to investigate. They came to this conclusion based on some ancient books, the situation of the last mission, and the rumors among the cultivators. Tianji Tower is the most well-informed. Therefore they were able to investigate all of this. Yang Lei opened her mouth and said, "Long time no see. T-free \% look at the small tick, say it." "I understand," Night Sorrow replied as he carefully moved forward in stealth. He not only had to be careful of the demonic beasts on the ground, but also the ones in the air. Just now Night Sorrow was alert. When a few snow eagles flew past, he hid under the branches of an ancient pine tree. That was why he was not discovered. As for Yang Lei, she was some distance away from Night Sorrow and had hidden early. In order to resist the bone-chilling cold of the ice-snow mountain, Night Sorrow could only circulate the energy of the myriad Tao Tome in his body. This way he would not be frozen stiff. Only when one cultivated to the spirit-severing stage would they be able to produce protective chi. Night Sorrow did not have this ability. From time to time, there would be vibrations on the ground. Those were the sounds of demonic beasts running and hunting. There were also snow eagles whistling in the air from time to time. These were all fatal threats. He did not dare to move forward quickly. After more than 4 hours, Night Sorrow finally saw the ancient birch tree marked in the mission. Although he saw the ancient birch tree, Night Sorrow did not dare to go over. This was because more than a dozen snow eagles were fighting fiercely with a snow fox with silver-white fur. Night Sorrow crouched behind a cedar tree and observed. 13 You may have profited this time. Yang Lei, who was leaning against Night Sorrow, said. Senior sister, what do you mean? Night Sorrow lowered his voice and asked. Chapter 151. I don't know. Night Sorrow really didn't know much about Silver Fox. Silver Fox's blood is an important supplementary ingredient in the Tier 5 Clear Void pill. It is much more precious than the main ingredient. It is said that Silver Fox has the bloodline of the ancient mutated beast, Nine-tailed Fox, Yang Lei whispered. I see. I have seen the ancient mutated beast, Nine-tailed Fox. I didn't expect Silver Fox to be a descendant of the ancient Nine-tailed Fox, Night Sorrow said in surprise. That's what they say, but I've never heard of a Silver Fox's bloodline awakening. If the bloodline awakened, the Silver Fox wouldn't just have 1 tail, but 4. At most, one of them would be a little smaller, Yang Lei explained to Yishan. Following Yang Lei's explanation, Night Sorrow also found out that Silver Fox's cultivation was at the early stage of Tier 4. The snow eagles in the sky were all Tier 3. Most of them were at the middle stage of Tier 3 and 2 were at the late stage of Tier 3. This was a snow eagle family, and the 2 with the highest cultivation were the elders of the family. The battle was very intense. Silver Fox's cultivation was high, but the snow eagles had the advantage of flying and numbers. Slowly, Silver Fox was unable to hold on. Its body was covered in the snow eagle's claw marks. However, the snow eagles had also suffered heavy losses. A few of them had been torn apart by Silver Fox and all of them were injured. The battle was very fierce. If it continued, both sides would suffer heavy losses or even perish together. Looking at the situation, Silver Fox originally occupied the ice spring surroundings. After giving birth, its body became weak, and the snow eagles came to snatch the territory. Yang Lei gave her analysis. Night Sorrow nodded, feeling that it made sense. The battle was very fierce, but Night Sorrow could only watch. No matter which side it was, he couldn't resist even if he was heavily injured. A starving camel was still bigger than a horse. Late stage of Tier 3 and early stage of Tier 4 could easily take Night Sorrow's life. The battle was still going on. Both sides were making their last stand. Silver Fox was determined not to retreat, and so was Snow Eagle. At this point in the battle, if they could not take down the Ice Spring stronghold, then they would have lost so many family members for nothing. An hour later, the battle was over. Both Silver Fox and Snow Eagle were lying on the snow. Some of them were still breathing, but that was the last moment of their lives. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei walked out. Night Sorrow first walked to the Silver Fox cub, looked at it, gave it a piece of jerky, and then went to the ice spring. This was an ice spring formed from tens of millions of years of accumulated snow. The benefits of cultivating beside the ice spring were great. However, this place was not suitable for humans. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and filled it with water. Other than what was needed for the mission, he also made some for himself. The ice spring water was not useful for cultivation, but it could be used for alchemy and refining equipment. After keeping the ice spring water, Night Sorrow glanced at the corpses of Silver Fox and Snow Eagle. He took out the reincarnation spear and started working. He dug out the crystal cores from the Snow Eagle's body. He even put the most ferocious Snow Eagle's corpse into his storage ring, saving it to feed Tianyu. Yang Lei collected the Silver Fox's blood and began to skin the Silver Fox. However, the Silver Fox cub continued to cause trouble. Night Sorrow stopped eating the jerky that he gave it and kept attacking Yang Lei. Although it was still very small, it was very fierce. Initial, send M, it is protecting its mother's corpse. Let's not continue to destroy it. Night Sorrow went forward and stopped Yang Lei. At the same time, he bent down and looked at the Silver Fox cub. Hurry up and leave. This is not a safe place. Night Sorrow reached out and stroked the Silver Fox cub. Strangely, the Silver Fox cub, which was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Yang Lei, calmed down when it saw Night Sorrow. It then crawled to the Silver Fox's corpse and squatted down. Yang Lei passed the Silver Fox's blood to Night Sorrow and then looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "Don't you plan to take this little guy with you?" In the eyes of cultivators, the value of a demonic beast cub with such potential was very high. Ninth Senior Sister, it is very pitiful. Let it go. Night Sorrow took out another piece of jerky and threw it in front of the Silver Fox cub. Alright. I'm just here to accompany you on the mission. I don't care if the people of Golden Flame Sect attack you. You can decide for yourself. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow waved his hand at the Silver Fox cub and left with Yang Lei. He knew that the Silver Fox cub was very valuable, but he saw himself in the Silver Fox cub. When he saw himself being protected by his guards, he was full of sympathy. After Night Sorrow and Yang Lei left, the Silver Fox cub moved and followed beside Night Sorrow. It followed every step that Night Sorrow took. Ninth Senior Sister? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei in surprise. Demonic beasts with high bloodline are born with sensitive senses. It knows that you are not hostile to it. You may be the first creature it has seen that is not hostile to it except for its mother, so it feels close to you. I just touched its mother's body, so it hates me, Yang Lei said. She seemed to understand what the older generation often said. Everything was destined. Night Sorrow did not force the Silver Fox cub to take it with him, but the Silver Fox cub liked to follow Night Sorrow. This was destined. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up the Silver Fox cub, then take it back and raise it in the Dragon Spring courtyard. Well, you can decide. But since we are taking it with us, then we should be benevolent and bury its mother. Yang Lei sighed and went back to take action. Seeing Yang Lei touch the Silver Fox's body, the Silver Fox cub was angry again. It jumped down from Night Sorrow's body and attacked Yang Lei's calf. Little guy, let me tell you. If you don't deal with it, other demonic beasts will eat it, so you have to bury it. There is no malice. Night Sorrow stopped the Silver Fox cub and told Yang Lei to make a snow pit first and then bury it directly. Otherwise the little guy would be tormented. I'm really convinced. Yang Lei was helpless and could only do it according to Night Sorrow's method. Night Sorrow's method was indeed effective. The silver fox cub looked at the silver fox's body being buried, and its eyes were full of confusion. After tidying up, Night Sorrow carried the silver fox cub and went down the mountain. Yang Lei followed behind. Yang Lei was still a little stunned. Night Sorrow just did a mission to get the ice spring water and he could make so many things happen and get so many benefits. Last time, when he eliminated the mountain bandits, he brought back a few smart maids and also got a treasure map. Was this the luck of an ordinary person? She now understood. Yang Yu talked about luck that day. How could Night Sorrow explain this? Luck, to put it bluntly, wasn't luck the embodiment of luck? After more than 2 hours, Night Sorrow took the silver fox cub and Yang Lei to the bottom of the mountain. Catch some prey. Tonight we will go down the mountain and camp. Night Sorrow made a decision. Chapter 152. What? Night Sorrow was stunned. He slipped and fell to the ground. The silver fox cub was also thrown to the side. It bumped into Yang Lei's body and its claws landed on Yang Lei's chest. Ah! Yang Lei screamed. Her body went limp and she fell to the ground. Yishan followed closely and laid on top of her. She fell to the ground and the two of them looked at each other. Then Yishan hurriedly got up and pressed his hands on Yang Lei's chest. Night Sorrow's face was red after he got up. He was extremely embarrassed. You bastard. How dare you take advantage of your senior sister? Aoi, who was wearing a long robe and a blue veil, blushed. She looked extremely charming in the wind and snow. Ninth senior sister, I didn't mean it. Night Sorrow quickly apologized. He didn't know how to explain it. Okay, I scared you. Let's go and hunt. I'm hungry. Yang Lei changed the topic. She glared at Night Sorrow when she saw that Night Sorrow was still in a daze. I'll go. Let's go now. We'll fly down with Tianyu and the green condor. We'll look for suitable prey. Night Sorrow released Tianyu and carried the silver fox cub on Tianyu's back. Yang Lei smiled when she saw how anxious Night Sorrow was. She understood everything. She was joking at the beginning. She scared Night Sorrow, which led to the series of events. After reaching Tier 3, Sky Feather had become much stronger. When she discovered a lone snow bear, she led Night Sorrow to circle in the air and attack. Very quickly they killed the snow bear that had just reached Tier 3. Tianyu grabbed the snow bear's body with his claws and flew down the snow mountain. Tianyu's body was already very big. Even if he was carrying Night Sorrow on his back, it wouldn't be a problem for him to carry a 500-pound snow bear. After descending from the ice snow mountain and finding a place with a good environment, Night Sorrow let Tianyu land. He then started a fire and started to clean up the snow bear. Yang Lei also came over to help. Ninth senior sister, you rest. I can do it myself. Night Sorrow's heart had not calmed down yet. 13, I'm not blaming you. What's wrong with that? I was just joking with you. You didn't mean it. Yang Lei smiled as she looked at the nervous Night Sorrow. Ninth senior sister, I've really let you down. Night Sorrow apologized. Then you should be obedient in the future. Don't make Ninth senior sister angry. Yang Lei said with a smile. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded and roasted the snow bear. He then went to play with the silver fox cub. He knew that Yang Lei was really not angry, so he felt a lot more at ease. After roasting the snow bear, Night Sorrow cut a piece for Yang Lei and a piece for the silver fox cub. He kept a little for himself and the rest for Tianyu. After eating, Night Sorrow let Tianyu rest. He then took out a piece of bear skin and handed it to Yang Lei. Senior sister, it's cold at night. You can rest on it. It's warmer. What about you? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm a man. This cold is nothing. Night Sorrow said with a smile. No need. Senior sister has vital energy to protect her body. You should use it. Yang Lei shook her head. Senior sister, listen to me. Night Sorrow finished and left. He went to the other side and sat on the ground and began to cultivate. Seeing Yishang's insistence, Yang Lei didn't say anything else. After spreading out the animal skin, she discovered that it was very big. After thinking for a moment, she called out to Yishang, 13th junior brother, this animal skin is so big. It won't be a problem for 2 people to sit on it. No, I'm fine like this. Night Sorrow shook his head. I called you over? You just said that you would listen to me in the future. Now you're like this? Yang Lei was a little angry. How could she watch Night Sorrow sit on the grass and cultivate? Not to mention the animal skin was really big. Seeing Yang Lei unhappy, Night Sorrow came over and sat in the corner of the animal skin. After sitting down, Night Sorrow took out the best quality soul-gathering pill and leopard embryo muscle-strengthening pill. He ate them and began to cultivate. The silver fox cub lay beside him, looking around with its dark eyes. See +0, edition, and chapter 69. Super W. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow found that his myriad Tao Tome had reached a bottleneck. He had reached the peak of level 2 muscle-strengthening realm. The energy in his body was saturated. If he did not level up, then he could not continue to improve. After opening his eyes, Night Sorrow saw that Yang Lei was already preparing food. She had woken up much earlier than him. "Ninth senior sister, you woke up so early?" Night Sorrow greeted. "Seeing that you were cultivating, I sent the cyan condor out to catch some prey. However, your Tianyu is quite good. It went out to catch a snow python and a pheasant," Yang Lei said as she processed the food. "I don't know why, but Tianyu is interested in snake and python food. But I like to eat pheasant, so he is used to catching prey." Night Sorrow said. "It is the nature of the Peng to like python food. Tianyu's fur is similar to the Xuanhuan, but his appearance is similar to the green eagle. So it is normal that he likes to eat python food. But he knows how to help you catch birds and game. This is an outstanding display of intelligence. My green eagle does not have this ability." Yang Lei looked at Tianyu and said. After chatting with Yang Lei for a while, Night Sorrow went to wash up. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow felt refreshed. But yesterday's incident still made him embarrassed to face Yang Lei. In fact, he could not face himself. When he saw Yang Lei, he could think of yesterday's scene. The warm feeling on his hand was still in his heart. After eating, Night Sorrow decided to do the second mission. This mission was an investigation mission. Someone in Yundong town had mysteriously disappeared. It needed to be investigated. Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and Yang Lei rode the Green Eagle. It took them a day to reach Yundong town. After entering the town, Yishang discovered that something was amiss. It was deathly silent, and there were barely any pedestrians on the main street. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei wanted to ask, but they could not find anyone. The town closed the door when they saw a stranger. "How can this be?" Night Sorrow frowned. He did not understand. "It's simple. They have people missing here and don't know the reason, so they are afraid. It is hopeless to ask them. Let's go to the mayor and see if anything special has happened recently," Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. The mayor lived in a dilapidated house on the east side of the town. Night Sorrow took out his Medicine Valley Disciple token and the bronze token of Tianji Tower. Only then did the mayor feel relieved. Then Night Sorrow asked questions. The mayor did not know anything. He only said that 2 women came to the town a month ago. After the 2 women left, people began to disappear. After asking more questions, Night Sorrow came to the conclusion that the missing people in the town were all young men and some teenagers. Chapter 153. There are, but they are all cultivation techniques that cultivators despise. If they are discovered, they will be killed immediately, Yang Lei said after pondering for a moment. There really are? I thought old Mangu was telling me a story, so I asked casually. If there really is such a cultivation technique, the missing man might have been captured to cultivate it, Night Sorrow said. Didn't I tell you that this is a cultivation technique that no cultivator would touch? If they are discovered, they will be killed immediately. Didn't you hear me? Yang Lei reached out to pat Night Sorrow's head. This was her personality and habit, and it was also something that Night Sorrow couldn't figure out. Yang Lei's figure was tall and slender, and her figure was exquisite. Her appearance was also the type that men would be attracted to, or even want to protect. However, under this appearance, there was a straightforward and violent personality in her delicate body. Ninth senior sister, don't hit me. There's a problem. Night Sorrow reached out to block Yang Lei's hand. "Io little 13, you dare to resist now? If you can't explain it clearly, do you want me to slap you?" Yang Lei retracted her hand and glared at Night Sorrow. "Senior sister, the premise of being killed is to be discovered. What about not being discovered? There are many people who take risks out of desperation. With enough benefits, people will do anything no matter how dangerous it is." Night Sorrow shared his opinion. "That's true. If you're discovered, you'll be killed. But if you're not discovered, you can increase your strength. Even if you go to a remote place, you'll still be a mountain king." Hearing Yishang's words, Yang Lei felt that Yishang's words made sense. "Therefore we will scout the surroundings of the town and see if there are any clues. Then we will hide at night. Among the missing people, there are those who go missing in the wilderness. Aren't there also those who mysteriously disappear at night?" Night Sorrow explained the direction of his investigation. Yang Lei didn't have any opinions about Night Sorrow's analysis and decision. She felt that although Night Sorrow was young, his meticulous thinking was incomparable to that of an adult. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei carefully scouted the surroundings of the town. The green eagle and Tianyu had already been put away. The silver fox cub lay on Night Sorrow's shoulder, its 4 little claws tightly grasping Night Sorrow's shoulder. Night Sorrow's actions didn't affect its comfort at all. Since he didn't find anything in the town's surroundings, Night Sorrow decided to expand his search area. He had more or less figured out the town's surrounding terrain. Senior sister, I think the problem should be in the mountains in the east and north. The south and west are not suitable for hiding. Yishang asked for Yang Lei's opinion. Let's go north first. I feel that if we want to hide, the possibility of hiding in the north is higher. Yang Lei nodded. The two of them searched towards the north of the town. After searching for nearly 20 miles, they still didn't find any clues. 13. Why don't we change our direction? Yang Lei asked. No. Even if there is a problem, the person wouldn't hide so close. Don't expect to find too many clues within 30 miles. Since we are searching this area, we should do it all at once. Otherwise, if we don't find anything in the east, we will have to do it again. Night Sorrow didn't agree with Yang Lei's opinion. Alright. Actually, I am afraid that you will be anxious. It seems that you are quite patient. Yang Lei nodded at Night Sorrow. They continued to search. After searching for 4 hours, they had already traveled 15 kilometers. After nearly 40 kilometers, Night Sorrow stopped because he had made a discovery. His discovery was that there were footprints by the stream. Although they were shallow, Yishang still saw them. Just as Yang Lei was about to speak, Night Sorrow gestured for her to be quiet. Then he came to Yang Lei's side. Ninth senior sister, look at the footprints. They are so small. It doesn't belong to a man. It seems that we were right. Along the way, Night Sorrow focused on the leeward areas that had water and were suitable for shelter. You are quite capable. I didn't notice the footprints just now. What do you plan to do next? Yang Lei was a little embarrassed. In this aspect, she was not as good as Night Sorrow. If people want to survive, they can't live without water. Let's not search anymore. It will be easy to miss the opportunity. If we miss the opportunity to appear, we will wait here. Once we find out, we will directly eliminate them, Night Sorrow said. I say, 13, do you know what your mission is? You are here to investigate. Whether or not you eliminate them is not your mission, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder. No, I can't watch innocent villagers continue to be persecuted. Night Sorrow shook his head. I really have to hand it to you. How are we going to wait here now? Yang Lei did not continue to persuade Night Sorrow. She knew that the local customs here were similar to Bamboo Garden Village. Night Sorrow was familiar with it. That ancient willow. Let's go up there. That way, the field of vision will be wider and it won't be easy to be discovered, Night Sorrow said as he pointed at an ancient willow not far away. Yang Lei nodded and looked at Night Sorrow. After hesitating for a moment, she reached out and hugged Night Sorrow's waist. With a stomp of her feet, she jumped into the air and directly landed on the ancient willow. Oh. Ninth senior sister, I can actually climb up by myself, Night Sorrow said with some embarrassment. So you're saying that ninth senior sister's actions are unnecessary? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with an unhappy expression. No, senior sister, you stay on top. I'll just watch from below. The two of them squeezed together. Night Sorrow was a little nervous. Update is new fastest D on LNZ, didn't you see that I changed my dress today? Yang Lei reached out and knocked on Night Sorrow's head. I can't stand on senior sister's head, right? Ninth senior sister, go up. I won't raise my head. Night Sorrow didn't know how to explain himself, so he could only make a promise. Yang Lei ignored Night Sorrow and moved to the side. Then she sat on a tree branch. She was here to accompany Night Sorrow. As for the mission, it was Night Sorrow's matter. Night Sorrow carried the silver fox cub down from his shoulder and placed it on the tree branch. Then he looked around himself. Time slipped away bit by bit. When it was close to evening, two women appeared. Both of them were coquettish women wearing red dresses. Their clothes were particularly revealing and only covered their vital parts. When they arrived at the stream, the two of them directly went into the water to wash. Then they took out buckets from their storage belts to draw water. After they were done, they kept the buckets in their storage belts. After collecting the water, the two of them grabbed each other a few times and made some unbearable sounds. Looking at the two women leaving, Night Sorrow floated down the tree. When Night Sorrow moved, the silver fox cub called out and went down the tree at the same time. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up the silver fox cub. He reached out and knocked on its head. Then, he quickly chased in the direction of the two women. He didn't want to lose them. If that happened, it would be troublesome to keep watch. The two women wearing revealing clothes didn't notice that Night Sorrow was following them. They walked for 4 to 5 miles and entered a small valley. Chapter 154. Be careful, those two flirtatious women's cultivations are not simple. One of them is at the peak of the third order. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. She looked at the two flirtatious women and felt anger in her heart. They were too disgraceful and too embarrassing for women. Night Sorrow nodded and extended his hand to knock on the silver fox cub's head. You better obediently lie down here. If you dare to run around, I won't want you any more. Seeing that the silver fox cub was not moving, Night Sorrow carried his reincarnation spear and entered the valley. Seeing Night Sorrow enter, Yang Lei felt a little uneasy. She extended her hand to carry the silver fox cub that was still resisting and quietly followed behind Night Sorrow. When Yang Lei followed, Night Sorrow discovered it. However, he did not stop her as he knew that Yang Lei was worried about him. After advancing for a while, the scene that he saw made Night Sorrow's head buzz. The blood in his body also sped up as he saw an extremely terrifying and brutal scene. Not far from the entrance of the valley, there was a pile of bones. It was a pile of skeletons that was only skin and bones. The flesh and blood of the body were gone. Night Sorrow took a deep breath and calmed himself down. From the robes on the skeletons, Night Sorrow could confirm that these people were the missing villagers. Yang Lei went forward and pulled Night Sorrow, who was obviously emotionally unstable, out of the valley. Night Senior Sister, they are not humans. In the pile of skeletons just now, there were a few that clearly belonged to a teenager. Night Sorrow was very angry. I know the matter is basically investigated clearly. Your mission is complete. Do you really plan to kill the two of them? One is at the middle of the third order and the other is at the peak of the third order. Yang Lei opened her mouth and said. She did not plan to make a move. Night Sorrow took 2 deep breaths and calmed himself down. If we just leave like this, there will be innocent villagers who will be harmed by them. Let me think about it. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow calmed down. He knew that he was only here for an investigation mission. However, if he just left like this and waited for the Chenji Tower to give another mission to kill the 2 demonesses, there would be villagers who would be killed in the meantime. However, he could not kill them. It could be said that the chances were very slim and close to 0. Night Sorrow's eyes lit up and suddenly had an idea. Since they are inhumane and indifferent to life, then I will not be polite. 13. It's not about being polite or not. If those 2 women want to kill you, it is no different from pinching a chicken. Do you want Senior Sister to help you? This has nothing to do with the mission. Yang Lei didn't plan on letting Night Sorrow take the risk. No need. When we came, I saw a stalk of snake blood grass. Normally it is nothing, but once it is burned, it will produce poisonous smoke. It will slow down the blood circulation of people and animals, and their chi will not be able to circulate. Night Sorrow said. This was what he found when he was approaching the small stream. The snake blood grass was a poisonous plant that was nourished by the poisonous blood of a dead snake. Then we will listen to you. Seeing that Night Sorrow had a plan, Yang Lei did not stop him. It was best if Night Sorrow could solve it himself. Night Sorrow returned to the small stream and tore the hem of his robe. He wrapped his hand and picked the snake blood grass, then returned to the valley. This time he did not plan to enter from the entrance. He planned to sneak in from the side of the valley and see if there was a chance to poison them. Yang Lei followed behind Night Sorrow. She was still carrying the silver fox cub, but the silver fox cub was very unwilling. Following the slope of the valley, the 2 of them sneaked to the end of the valley. At the end of the valley, 2 women in bare clothes were making tea and chatting. In the innermost part of the valley was a cave. At the entrance of the cave, 2 strong young men were tied up. However, they were very weak and dispirited. It was obvious that they did not have enough chi. Big sister, do you mean that after we deal with these people we should go somewhere else? The skinnier woman on the left asked. That's right. We can't stay here for too long. We've captured a lot of young adults in this town. If we continue to stay here, we'll easily attract the attention of others. If high-level cultivators come, we'll be in trouble. The woman with her hair down and her breasts almost exposed said. Then let's go further away and change to another place. Cultivating like this will increase our cultivation quickly. The skinny woman said. After drinking the tea, the 2 of them stood up. The woman with her hair down fed the two men a pill each. Then the two women each carried one pill into the cave. After a while, the cave was filled with sounds that made Night Sorrow and Young Lei blush. There were men roaring like beasts and women moaning. Looking at the original chapter? $2 Why Night Sorrow took the snake blood grass and wanted to throw it into the fire, but he was hesitant. Are you worried about those two men? They won't be able to live. Their essence and chi have been sucked dry. Even if they are saved, they won't be able to live for more than a few days. Yang Lei's face was red, but her words were filled with anger. After hearing Yang Lei's words, Night Sorrow's worries disappeared. With a flick of his right hand, he threw the snake blood grass into the fire. Because Night Sorrow used too much strength, the snake blood grass smashed into the fire. At this moment, the woman with her hair down dashed out of the cave without any clothes on. Yang Lei reached out one hand and covered Night Sorrow's eyes. With the other hand she pressed down on Night Sorrow's head. The two of them lay in the grass on the slope of the valley. The woman scouted around, killed a mountain rat and returned to the cave. That sound rang out again. Night Sorrow knew that he was too excited and used too much strength. Fortunately, the two women didn't notice. Night Sorrow took out a towel and a jar of wine from his storage ring. He wet the towel, covered his mouth and nose and tied it behind his head. He also dealt with the silver fox cub, then looked at Yang Lei. Yang Lei knew that Night Sorrow's purpose was to stop the poison from corroding her body. However, she shook her head. At this moment she had already used her chi to protect her body, so the poison couldn't corrode her body. Time slowly passed, and the sounds in the cave gradually quieted down. A moment later, two naked women, each dragging a man, walked out of the cave. The two men didn't make any sound and some of their essence and chi were gone. Other than the fact that they were still breathing, they were no different from the skeletons outside. They directly threw the two men who were still alive on the pile of skeletons. The two women didn't care about them anymore. They went back to the fire and didn't put on any clothes. They just put on a simple gauze and sat down to make tea. The youngest, I don't feel so good. We'll leave tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll leave here and change to another area. Why can't I use my chi? The woman with long hair said. After she finished speaking, her face changed. The other thin woman also looked at the woman with long hair in surprise. Chapter 155. The long-haired woman did not see anyone else. Now that something had happened, she instinctively suspected the other woman. Big sister, how can you say that about me? I really don't know. The skinny woman stood up and said. When she stood up, her body swayed a little. You don't know? Is it because I didn't give you that delicate and pretty little fellow yesterday? Are you upset? The woman with long hair roared harshly. Stop arguing, all of you scum. Scum of the human race, a disgrace of women. Yang Lei appeared and slapped the two of them in the face. Then he didn't care that their clothes were untidy. He lifted his leg and kicked them viciously. He even kicked their chests and the vital parts below. Yishan could only turn around and not look. This is. Following the sound of sword chi breaking through the air, the two women let out a short scream. Night Sorrow turned around and saw that Yang Lei had already beheaded the two women. Then she pulled out the storage belts that were hanging outside their veils. I'll help you check. Don't take the unsightly things. Yang Lei took the two storage belts and threw some messy things on the fire. Then she handed the storage belts to Night Sorrow. The storage belts were much lower grade than the storage rings. They did not recognize the owner. In other words, they could be used by anyone. Yishang took out the items inside the box. The two women did not have any treasures. Their messy clothes were burned by Yang Lei. Only some gold notes, a few bottles of pills and a book were left. That pill might be an aphrodisiac. Don't eat it. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. Harmony technique? That's what they cultivate? Just destroy it. Night Sorrow took the book and was about to tear it. Don't. I've heard of this cultivation method before. Actually, if one's heart is righteous and both husband and wife cultivate it together, the cultivation results are very obvious. However, they didn't use it in the right place and cultivated the evil side. Yang Lei stopped Yishan. GC, * original, chapter K section, O above W, 9th senior sister, if you want it, take it. In the future you can follow senior brother-in-law to cultivate. Night Sorrow threw the book to Yang Lei. You're going to die. Keep it. Yang Lei blushed and threw the book back to Night Sorrow. Alright. Whenever 9th senior sister wants it, just let me know. Night Sorrow nodded and put away the ancient book. Clean them up and collect their heads. Also, bring back a skeleton as proof of completing the mission. Is that appropriate? Night Sorrow didn't mind carrying the murderer's head, but he couldn't accept carrying the victim's remains. Use their dirty storage belts to put one in. Also inform the people in town to collect the body. Yang Lei thought Night Sorrow didn't want it to be dirty and unlucky. Senior sister, I'm saying that it's better for people to be buried. It's not appropriate for us to torture their remains. Night Sorrow expressed his thoughts. We solved the problem for their town and avenged them. They owe us a favor. What's wrong with bringing them back as proof? However, there's a way to solve this problem. Bring the mayor and the people in town tomorrow and ask them to write a statement saying that they're not allowed to be so pedantic in the future. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Seeing that Yang Lei didn't force him, Night Sorrow smiled and put away the two demon girls' heads. The two of them didn't move at all and quickly left the valley. They rode the green condor and left with Tianyu. After all, the poisonous smoke from the snake blood grass was still there and it would take a while for it to disperse. After arriving in town, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei went to the mayor's house and explained the situation in detail. When the mayor heard that the problem was solved, he couldn't wait any longer. He immediately gathered the villagers in town and rushed to the location provided by Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei, who originally planned to rest, rode Tianyu and the green condor to the valley to wait. When the two of them arrived, the charcoal fire was extinguished and there was a gentle breeze. The poisonous smoke was no longer there. The mountain people were very fast on the mountain roads and they were familiar with the terrain. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei provided the location, so they arrived in an hour. When the villagers saw the remains and recognized their own people, they all burst into tears. The mayor was also very grateful to Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Although he was sad, the hidden danger was solved. After letting the villagers deal with the aftermath, the mayor brought Night Sorrow and Yang Lei back to the town. He found the richest family to stay in and arranged for people to prepare food for them. Night Sorrow said that he needed proof and the mayor immediately agreed. Taking out a pen and paper, the mayor wrote down the situation at the scene. When Yang Lei asked the mayor to write, he only wrote about the corpses of the villagers and nothing about the two women. After recording, the mayor signed and put his handprint and seal on it. After the mayor went to do his work, Night Sorrow said, "Ninth senior sister, you asked the mayor to write this only to prove that the investigation mission is completed. There are still benefits for the two women? It's easy to deal with smart people. After you hand in this mission, ask if there are any follow-up missions. Ask if you need to kill the evildoer who absorbs yang to replenish yin. If you need to, take the heads and you can hand in the mission," Yang Lei said. "I understand what you mean. The problem is, how can we prove that the two heads belong to the murderer?" Night Sorrow asked, puzzled. "You can't be blamed for this because you can't see it." Just now, the two witches had just absorbed the essence blood and yang qi and had not refined it. The yang qi was rushing to the top. High-level cultivators can tell from the heads. Yang Lei explained to Night Sorrow. "So that's how it is. Then it's easy." Yi Shan gave Yang Lei a thumbs up. "Now you'd better pray that if there's a mission to kill witches, it's not higher than the bronze level. If it's a silver level mission only I can earn points," Yang Lei said with a smile. Tianji Tower's system was very strict. Iron token holders could only take on iron level missions. Bronze token holders could only take on bronze level missions. On the other hand, high-level token holders could take on low-level missions. There's no difference whether you earn or I earn. The silver mission rewards are high and you get more benefits," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "You're so open-minded. I don't know what delicious food they'll make for us. Tianyu and the green condor haven't eaten yet." Yang Lei said. "Your green condor is easy. Tianyu likes to eat cooked food." Night Sorrow had already let Tianyu out and let Tianyu catch the prey by himself. Yang Lei also let the green condor out. On the other side, Night Sorrow had already wrapped the towel around his mouth and ran it up to his neck. The mayor brought the townspeople to prepare food for Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. It was very extravagant. Night Sorrow saw the sadness on the villagers' faces. He simply ate with Yang Lei and went to rest and cultivate. He didn't want to see the villagers force smiles. Who wouldn't feel sad when something happened to their family? After washing up early in the morning, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei rode Tianyu and the green condor to Danding City. Night Sorrow was looking forward to seeing if there was a follow-up to this mission. Chapter 156. The next day they returned to Danding Peak. During breakfast, Yang Lei told Aoi about the mission with Night Sorrow. "Demonesses are rare these days. Looks like 13 Eyes is quite lucky." Always said as she glanced at Night Sorrow. Sixth senior sister, don't joke around. The scene was so creepy. Those two women were like skeletons, Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile. Always smiled. After you guys finish eating, go turn in the mission and see if there are any follow-up missions. If there aren't any, come back and rest. Night Sorrow nodded. He also planned to rest for 2 days because he needed to go into seclusion to level up. He had cultivated the Myriad Daos Tome to the peak of muscle strengthening 2nd level and was about to break through. His Jun Chi cultivation was very close to the peak of element gathering 5th level, and he could break through at any time. At Tianji Tower, Enforcer Dong was very happy to see Night Sorrow. He personally brewed tea for Night Sorrow and welcomed him. Normally with his status he didn't need to receive anyone. However, he felt that Night Sorrow had a lot of potential and was related to his young miss, so he was much more enthusiastic. Night Sorrow handed in the Ice Spring Water mission. Next was the investigation mission. There was no doubt about the Ice Spring Water mission. Night Sorrow told him about the investigation mission in Yundong Town. He also took out the mayor's certificate. Enforcer Dong looked at it and nodded. And no problem. Looks like the situation is still very serious. We'll have to issue a follow-up mission later. Do I need to contact the person issuing the mission? Night Sorrow asked. There's no need. The investigation mission was jointly issued by several towns near Yundong Town. If we continue with the mission, they won't be able to offer any rewards. The next mission is a regional mission. The Empyrean Terminus Tower will issue the mission at the cost of high points. Those who accept the mission won't receive any substantial rewards, but they will receive high points, Enforcer Dong said. Then, Enforcer Dong, do you think I can accept it? Night Sorrow asked directly without hiding anything. This mission needs to be reported to the higher-ups. This mission is between bronze and silver. If you want to take it, I'll report it as bronze. But the points won't be low. Enforcer Dong explained to Night Sorrow. Alright, keep this quest for me, Night Sorrow said. Yo. I really have to hand it to you, alright? I will. I will also strive to get the mission to bronze rank, Enforcer Dong said as he looked at Night Sorrow with a knowing smile on his face. After chatting with Enforcer Dong for a while, Night Sorrow left. He did not accept any missions as the remaining bronze missions were a waste of time. Besides, he still needed to make a breakthrough. After leaving Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei strolled around the streets. Danding City was much quieter. There were many disciples of the Golden Fire sect, but they were all well-behaved. Caritas is the most new Q. Chapter 1. Chapter 2 They won't behave unless they're beaten, Yang Lei said as she looked at the well-behaved disciples with disdain. Although they're well-behaved now, there's still a hidden danger. Our Medicine Valley won't allow the Golden Flame sect to meddle in this area. Similarly, the Golden Flame sect won't tolerate a spy in their territory. Yishang shared his opinion. Indeed, the problem will erupt sooner or later. But it won't be that easy unless the Golden Fire sect is confident that they can destroy the Medicine Valley and resist the suppression of the other 6 superpowers, Yang Lei said. I hope the Golden Fire sect will stop before going too far. Night Sorrow nodded. Neither side could tolerate the current situation, and neither side wanted to fight. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei strolled around the city. Yang Lei bought some clothes, but it was Night Sorrow who paid for them. During this time, Yang Lei had been acting as Night Sorrow's nanny, and he felt bad about it. Yang Lei did not reject Night Sorrow's kindness and accepted it all. When he was about to go back, Night Sorrow saw 2 people. An old man was leading a young man. The young man's left arm was fixed with a jade splint, and his face was pale. Elder Chi, it's him. Kill him. The young man shouted when he saw Night Sorrow. The young man was none other than Zhan Peng, whose arm was chopped off by Night Sorrow, but his arm was now reattached. It seems like I didn't teach you a lesson. Last time I told you not to provoke me. If you provoke me again, I'll take your life. Night Sorrow took the reincarnation spear from his back. How could he be polite when someone wanted to kill him? Young man, don't be too vicious. If you want to die, don't talk nonsense, the old man with a long beard said. What a joke. He said he wanted to kill me and now you say I'm vicious? Be careful before you speak. Night Sorrow snorted coldly. You think I don't dare to kill you? She can't stop me. The old man looked at Yang Lei and said, I might not be able to stop you, but why don't you try touching him? If you dare to touch him, I'll make all the Golden Flame sect disciples in the Medicine Valley pay with their lives. Yang Lei waved her arm, and her green eagle flew up and circled in the sky. After being scolded by Yang Lei, the old man's face turned ugly. No one in the Golden Flame sect dared to talk to him like this. He wanted to attack, but he felt that it was not the right time. If he attacked today, the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley would definitely go to war. But if he just endured it, he would lose face. Yang Lei stood in front of Night Sorrow, and the energy in her body surged. She was ready to fight. She released the Green Eagle to show the Medicine Valley disciples. It would be enough if she could hold on for a while. Apologize. If you apologize, I won't make it difficult for you today. The old man looked at Yang Lei and said. He didn't want to fight, but he needed a way out. Apologize? You think too much. Today it was the little trash beside you who said he wanted to kill people first. I'll accompany you in the Medicine Valley. Yang Lei said coldly. She would rather die than apologize. Yang Lei would never apologize. Are you forcing me to attack? The old man narrowed his eyes and said. Just as the old man was about to attack, people from the Medicine Valley arrived. It was Gong Xian. He was not far from this area, and when he saw the Green Eagle in the sky, he knew something was wrong. He asked Shi Tianlin to ask for help from the mayor's mansion, and then he flew over at full speed. Ninth junior sister, what's wrong? Senior brother, this old man wants to kill 13. Yang Lei said, and her eyes began to stare at the old man with a long beard. Those who have nothing to do with this, leave. Gong Xian took out his long sword. Someone wanted to kill Night Sorrow, and he didn't ask for the reason. Whether he could win or not, he had to fight. Seeing Gong Xian directly order people to leave and at the same time take out his weapon, the old man knew something was wrong. This Gong Xian had no intention of being reasonable and negotiating. When the onlookers left, Gong Xian directly attacked. He waved the long sword in his hand, and a sword aura slashed fiercely at the old man. If he wanted to fight, he would fight. Even if he couldn't win, he still had to fight. This was the blood and vigor of the Taishan Peak. Chapter 157. The old man took out his saber and fought with Gong Xian and Yang Lei. The old man was Qi Tiancheng of the Golden Flame sect, so he understood the heaven-covering hand very well. Therefore his body flashed and avoided Yang Lei, avoiding the battle between Yang Lei and Gong Xian. After a few head-on clashes, Gong Xian was always at a disadvantage and was forced to retreat every time. The three of them moved around and fought on the street. Saber Qi and Sword Qi slashed large holes in the buildings on both sides of the street. When Gong Xian and Yang Lei fought, Night Sorrow also made his move. He brandished his reincarnation spear and attacked Zhan Peng. If you want to kill me, I'll kill you first. Seeing Night Sorrow attacking, a long sword appeared in Zhan Peng's right hand and he stabbed it towards Night Sorrow's chest. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear didn't change its momentum and continued to stab forward. At the same time, his true Qi exploded and vibrating energy was poured into the spear. An inch longer was an inch stronger. If both of them didn't change their moves, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear would definitely pierce Zhan Peng's chest first. With a low roar, Zhan Peng swung the long sword in his right hand towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear while simultaneously dodging. Ding! When the weapons met, the reincarnation spear vibrated and stretched out Zhan Peng's long sword while continuing to stab forward. Zhan Peng quickly retreated to avoid Night Sorrow's attack. Now that his middle gate was open, he couldn't counterattack even if he wanted to. Night Sorrow stomped his foot, causing stone fragments to fly. He quickly rushed forward and caught up with Zhan Peng. The reincarnation spear fiercely slashed towards Zhan Peng's chest. Zhan Peng's expression changed greatly. He tilted his body to the right to dodge. He dodged very quickly and also avoided his vital organs. However, the result was the same as last time. His left arm didn't manage to dodge. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear flicked up and down, chopping off his entire left arm. After chopping off Zhan Peng's left arm, Night Sorrow followed up and kicked Zhan Peng's abdomen, causing him to fly several zhang away and disperse his true Qi. After injuring Zhan Peng, Night Sorrow continued to charge forward and slashed his reincarnation spear at Zhan Peng. Stop! Qi Tiancheng was anxious. How could he watch as Zhan Peng was killed? Zhan Peng was the descendant of an important figure in the Golden Flame sect. He ignored the pursuit of Gong Xian and Yang Lei and rushed towards Night Sorrow. At this moment, Night Sorrow was facing a test. He could kill Zhan Peng first, but he couldn't dodge Qi Tiancheng's fatal attack. In a split second, Night Sorrow executed the Dragon Leap steps and flashed in front of Zhan Peng. He grabbed Zhan Peng with his left hand and placed the reincarnation spear's blade on Zhan Peng's neck with his right hand. After that he turned around to face Qi Tianqing. After doing all this, Qi Tianqing was only 10 feet away from Night Sorrow. However, he didn't dare to move forward. The result of moving forward was that Night Sorrow would slaughter Zhang Peng. Come. Continue to come over and try it. Night Sorrow exerted force with his right hand and the reincarnation spear's blade cut into Zhang Peng's neck. Traces of blood flowed along the reincarnation spear's blade. Qi Tianqing didn't move. He knew that Night Sorrow wasn't bluffing. He really wanted to kill Zhang Peng. Seeing that Qi Tianqing didn't move, Night Sorrow carried Zhang Peng with his left hand and retreated to Gong Xian and Yang Lei's side. Qi Tianqing, you're so mighty. Yu Yangyu appeared with 2 elders behind him. Night Sorrow knew one of them. He was the peak master of the North Pole Peak, Yen Beidu. The other one was the peak master of the Drifting Cloud Peak, whom Night Sorrow had met during the sect competition. Is he as mighty as your Medicine Valley? You directly attacked my Golden Flame sect's member. It seems like you really want to break off relations with me. Qi Tianqing looked at Yu Yangyu and said, Yang Lei, what's going on? Yu Yangyu looked at Yang Lei and asked. Although Zhang Peng was in Night Sorrow's hands, it wasn't convincing to ask Night Sorrow. After all, Night Sorrow was still young. Slap. Yang Lei stretched out her hand and slapped Zhang Peng. I was shopping with 13th Junior Brother. It was him. He shouted at this shameless old man that he was going to kill 13th Junior Brother. Then he attacked. Then what's the point of keeping him alive? 13th Junior Brother, kill him. Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow directly. Night Sorrow didn't reply verbally. He directly pulled out his reincarnation spear and cut Zhang Peng's throat. Yu Yangyu didn't look at Qi Tianqing and directly taught his disciple in front of countless people. 13th Junior Brother, remember one thing. If anyone wants to kill you, kill them back. If they want to kill you, what else do you have to worry about? Yu Yangyu, is this a declaration of war? Qi Tianqing's face was livid. He pointed at Yu Yangyu and questioned him. Qi Tianqing, what's the big deal about your Golden Flame sect's disciple yelling that he wanted to kill my Medicine Valley's disciple? What's the big deal about the Golden Flame sect's disciple flaunting his strength in Danding City? You have already declared war. What's the point of declaring war? Didn't you do the same thing? Yu Yangyu said coldly. There's a misunderstanding, Qi Tianqing said. Now, let me tell you the Medicine Valley's attitude. We admit that the Medicine Valley is a subsidiary force of the Golden Flame sect. However, the Golden Flame sect's force is not allowed to interfere in any area of the Medicine Valley. 7 days. I'll give you 7 days. If the Golden Flame sect's disciple is still active in Danding City, the Medicine Valley will expel him. This time is enough for you to ask for instructions and report. We won't make things difficult for you, Yen Beibei said coldly. Expel. Qi Tianqing, you know that as long as you resist, the Medicine Valley will kill you on the spot. Even if blood flows like a river, we won't give up the foundation left by our ancestors, Yu Yangyu said firmly. Men, take the corpse away. Qi Tianqing couldn't vent his anger. He directly shouted at the Golden Flame sect's disciple who was rushing over. Qi Tianqing was helpless now. He couldn't win if he wanted to fight. He could only report it to the Golden Flame sect. Be careful. Looking at Night Sorrow, Yu Yangyu said and left. Among his disciples, only Night Sorrow didn't have the ability to protect himself. Good job. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Thank you, ninth senior sister. Thank you, eldest senior brother. Night Sorrow nodded to Yang Lei and bowed to Gong Xian. If Night Sorrow was close to Aoi and Yang Lei, then he was respectful to Gong Xian. Translator. Zephizi editor. Dioquin, eldest senior brother, was scared to death just now. That guy went crazy and insisted on killing you. We couldn't stop him. Fortunately, you reacted quickly and captured the unlucky guy. Otherwise, we would have been in a passive position. Gong Xian was also a little scared. If Night Sorrow was a little slower, the situation wouldn't be optimistic. Night Sorrow's cultivation was at the second stage. In front of Qi Tianqing, he was like a porcelain doll that would break at the slightest touch. Senior brothers, you're all here. Night Sorrow saw that almost all of his senior brothers were here. Wu Qi, Huanan, Huang'an, Lu Peng, Zhou Zheng, Tao Yuan, and Mo Qin and Shi Tianlin had all arrived. Shi Tianlin was following Gong Xian's arrangement to report to the City Lord Mansion. However, he wasn't as fast as Yu Yangyu and Yen Beibei. At this time, except for Aoi who was in the Longquan courtyard, all of Yu Yangyu's disciples had arrived. Chapter 158. He's from the other side, Yang Lei said. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Mo Chen's murderous intent subsided. Since all the senior brothers and sisters were here, Wuqi suggested that they gather together. Everyone agreed. Gong Xian said goodbye to Chu Lingxiao and Yi Shui. They were both members of the patrol team, so he had to inform them before leaving. Let's go. The next 2 days should be peaceful. If we want to fight, it'll be in a few days. I like this feeling. If we fight, let's fight to our heart's content. Chu Lingxiao said. At this moment he was no longer gentle and refined. Instead he was a hot-blooded warrior. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei went to buy some good wine before the group set off for the Dragon Spring courtyard. Alway was surprised to see her senior and junior brothers. What's the occasion today? It's not a special occasion. We're just gathering when we run into each other, Gong Xian said with a smile. Alway asked Hai Luo and Luo Wei to prepare some dishes, then led everyone to the garden to make tea. Everyone prepare for battle. Ever since 13 killed that guy, the situation has been out of our control, Gong Xian said. What happened? 13 killed someone? Alway looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Master ordered him to do it. The Medicine Valley should be fully prepared for battle. Next we'll see what the Golden Flame sect does. However, the possibility of a decisive battle isn't high because I received news that the Southern Dipper sect has attacked the Golden Flame sect. They've started an all-out war at the front line of the Green Cloud Mountain Range. If the Golden Flame sect fights us to the death, it'll make things worse for them. They might even be removed from the 7 superpowers, Gong Xian said. That's good. I heard that the Southern Dipper sect is stronger than the Golden Flame sect. The Golden Flame sect has no reason to provoke the Southern Dipper sect. Did they really eat too much? Oi said. Everyone was familiar with the situation in the Eastern Shen domain. The Southern Dipper sect had a long history, even longer than the Golden Flame sect. They controlled an area of millions of square kilometers. The other 7 superpowers were very restrained. There would be small-scale conflicts, but they would not escalate the situation. My master told me about it. It seems that the grandson of the vice sect master of the Golden Flame sect met the young miss of the Southern Dipper sect when he was training in the Green Cloud Mountain Range. He then flirted with the young miss of the Southern Dipper sect and was crippled. As a result, a conflict broke out. Do you think the Southern Dipper sect will tolerate this? They declared war directly, Gong Xian explained to everyone. The Southern Dipper sect is really something. The people of the Golden Flame sect are too despicable. They have to beat them up, Yang Lei said. While they were chatting, Hai Luo, Luo Wei and the other girls served the dishes. 13 Where did all these beauties come from? Your senior brothers are all single. Tao Yuan said with a smile. Alway then told him about Night Sorrow's quest to save the girls. Not bad. You have a bright future ahead of you, Tao Yuan said as he patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Don't talk nonsense. 13 might have someone he likes. Yang Lei glared at Tao Yuan. When the dishes were served, Night Sorrow began to set the table. He had bought a lot of good wine today, and he also took out 2 jugs of Bamboo Garden Village's Uncle Nyo's wine. He really did not have any left. While they were chatting, Little Six came in with an old man. Chief Steward Su, what brings you here? Gong Xian greeted him. Su Zhonglin was the chief steward of the outer disciples of the Taishan Peak. Yu Yangyu didn't have any outer disciples, but he still had other elders. He still needed the chief steward to manage the odd job disciples and the business of the Taishan Peak. It's like this. A caravan came from South Sky City. They have 13's goods, so I sent them over, Su Zhonglin said. Su Zhonglin was the chief steward of the outer sect, and his status was equal to the second-generation disciples. So he could directly address Night Sorrow by name. Then let's go and see what goods they have. Mo Chen was interested. It's wine. The South Sky City Chamber of Commerce put it in a storage belt and sent it over. Su Zhonglin took out 3 storage belts and handed them to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took the storage belt and took out the wine. He placed it on the side of the garden. There were more than 30 jugs and a few sets of linen robes. After returning the storage belt to Su Zhonglin, Night Sorrow touched the linen robes. His eyes were a little wet. He recognized that the robes were made by Auntie Lin. He had worn Auntie Lin's clothes since he was young, so it felt familiar to him. The people from the Chamber of Commerce also brought a message. They said that Zhuyuan Town's construction is very good, so you don't have to worry. You can go back and take a look if you have time, Su Zhonglin said. Thank you, Chief Steward Su. Please sit down and drink. Night Sorrow put the robes into his storage ring and cupped his hands toward Su Zhonglin. I really can't. I still have a lot of things to take care of. Taishan Peak is preparing for war. I have to go to the various medicine shops. Next time we will drink together. Su Zhonglin cupped his hands towards everyone and left. Wanli came to deliver wine for you. This wine is very expensive, so the transportation cost won't be low, Wu Qi said. Last time, 13 had people bring back some gold notes. The people of Zhiyuan town have no problem living. Yang Lei shook her head. She knew that Night Sorrow brought back a lot of gold notes. It was enough to build several Zhiyuan towns. Old 8. What are you doing? Aoi shouted at Shi Tianlin, who was secretly moving the wine. I was worried that 13 would become an alcoholic and delay his cultivation. I just wanted to help him get rid of some of it, Shi Tianlin said embarrassedly. Old 8, you are too disloyal. It is better for everyone to share. Night Sorrow's 7th senior brother, Zhou Zheng, reprimanded Shi Tianlin. And let's share it. Night Sorrow said. Old 7, Old 8, you two are too shameless. You want to share it? That wine was delivered from Wanli and you want to share it? Each of you can only take 1 jar. If you take more, I will chop off your hands. Aoi glared at the two of them. Shi Tianlin was a little depressed as he took a jar. Everyone else also took a jar. Gong Xian was no exception. This was the atmosphere among the disciples of Taishan Peak. Everyone would fight for ordinary things. However, if it was expensive, no one would fight for it. Their relationship was no different from that of brothers and sisters. Come drink. Let's get this done quickly. Don't let Chu Ling Xiao and Yi Shui busy themselves in Danding City. They won't be able to cope. Gong Xian opened the jar and began to drink and eat. Forever. Forever exempt from looking at 8 small. Big. Senior brother, when you leave, bring 2 jars to master. Although they are not good wine, Night Sorrow said to Gong Xian. Okay, I will bring them over after we finish eating. Gong Xian nodded. He admired Night Sorrow's attitude. The wine was not good, but it was filial. Chapter 159. You all know the situation. The Valley Master has been in seclusion to seek a breakthrough. This time, the Supreme Elder and I want Yang Yu to preside over this matter. Do you all understand? The Great Elder knocked his walking stick on the ground and said, I may be estranged from Peak Master Lu on other matters, but when it comes to the interests of the sect, I will obey him unconditionally. Yuan Tai, the Peak Master of Wangyun Peak, stood up and declared. Greenstone Peak has no problem either. Dai Tongyan also stood up. The other Peak Masters also expressed their support. Except for Su Chenbai of Ninein Peak, who was still a little squeaky, the others were all united. While Su Chenbai was squeaking, Chen Wu directly smashed the armrest of his chair. If Grand Elder hadn't stopped him, he might have exploded on the spot. In the past, Chen Wu supported Su Chenbai, but that was a normal competition. A sect without competition would be a stagnant pool and would be eliminated. However, this didn't mean that he would tolerate Su Chenbai's inaction when the sect was in danger. Next was the mobilization of the Medicine Valley's manpower. Yu Yangyu arranged the main forces of the 8 peaks to guard the city gates. In other words, every 2 peaks would guard an area near 1 gate of Danding City. The remaining 4 peaks, Taishan Peak, North Pole, Danding Peak and Wuwei Peak, continued to patrol Danding City. As for the areas of influence in other cities, the sect elders and protectors had already taken care of them. This was arranged by Grand Elder. Currently, the Medicine Valley's outer forces were under Grand Elder's control. Yu Yangyu was in charge of Danding City's area. If a war broke out, the Medicine Valley's most important areas to defend were Danding City and Danding Mountain. If these 2 areas were not lost, they could still fight back. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to take over the Medicine Valley, it would be useless to take over the scattered areas. Danding City and Danding Mountain were the key areas. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to take over these 2 areas, they would have to mobilize most of their forces. In this case, it would be hard to say whether they would be attacked by other forces. This was also the reason why the Medicine Valley was not afraid. They had the courage to fight a bloody battle. With the current situation of the Golden Flame sect, the Medicine Valley felt that they would not lose. After the arrangements were made, all the peaks went to work. All the elders also left, but the Great Elder left behind Yu Yangyu, as well as the Peak Masters of the Cloud Sea Peak and the North Pole Peak. According to the arrangement, Duanlei, your Cloud Sea Peak and Ninein Peak will guard the south gate. Be more vigilant. A strong fortress is not easy to break from the outside, but it is easy to break from the inside, the Great Elder said. This, Duanlei understands. Duan Lei hesitated for a moment before bowing to the Great Elder. North Pole, pay more attention to the South Gate when you're patrolling. The Great Elder said to Yen North Pole and sent the two away. Only the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu were left in the hall. According to the news from the Golden Flame sect, one of the 11 peak masters in our Medicine Valley is a member of the Golden Flame sect, and he is a direct descendant of the Golden Flame sect's top management. He has been sent here since he was young. I've made some calculations and initially thought that Jin Kan and Su Qinbai were the most likely suspects. After a few years of investigation, Jin Kan has been ruled out as a suspect, the Great Elder said. So it's Su Qinbai? Yu Yangyu said angrily. It's almost confirmed. But we don't need to pay attention to him for now. It's a pity that the Second Elder has cultivated him, the Great Elder said with a sigh. Does the Second Elder know? Yu Yangyu understood that this was definitely a blow to the Second Elder. The Second Elder, Qian Wu, had a violent and upright personality. Now that he had a traitor disciple, once he knew, it would be hard for him to accept it. Yes, I know. If you didn't stop him, he would have killed Su Qinbai. He was holding back just now. The Great Elder nodded. Although we had some conflicts in the past, I didn't expect this to happen. Yu Yangyu was also shocked. This is the seed that the Golden Flame sect planted in the Medicine Valley. If you didn't stand in front of him and he really took the position, you can imagine the situation in the Medicine Valley, the Great Elder said with some lingering fear. Now there was a consensus in the Medicine Valley that the future Valley Master would be Yu Yangyu. This could be seen from the fact that the crisis in the Medicine Valley this time was led by Yu Yangyu. The Valley Master of the Medicine Valley, Hua Yunpeng, was originally the Valley Master of the Wuwei Peak. When the old Valley Master stepped down, Hua Yunpeng took over from the Wuwei Peak to the Danding Peak. The motto of the Wuwei Peak was to not fight and pursue the concept of inaction. Therefore, after Hua Yunpeng took over, he didn't manage the affairs of the sect and had been pursuing his own breakthrough. Otherwise, the Great Elder wouldn't be so busy and would have entered the worship pagoda to cultivate. Then we should keep him for now. Keep this root of trouble? Yu Yangyu said with a frown. Keep him for now. He has his uses. After all, there are some messages that we need him to deliver. For example, this time the Medicine Valley will fight to the death. If the Golden Flame sect knows about it, will they dare to act rashly? The Great Elder said with a smile. Yu Yangyu nodded. In the Eastern Profound Domain, or even the entire 9 regions and 18 states, if a big force wanted to annex a small force, they often relied on deterrence rather than fighting to the death. In a real fight, even if they carried out the annexation, the losses would be great and the gains would not make up for the losses. At present, the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley were in the same situation. Great Elder, there is another problem. The 12 peaks are the distribution of the main forces of the Medicine Valley. They are also the places where we cultivate talents. If Su Qinbai, this malignant tumor, is not removed, then won't the Ninein Peak be ruined? Yu Yangyu didn't want to see the Medicine Valley's strength fall. This problem needs to be solved. He is a member of the Golden Flame sect. Only his true confidants will know. The other disciples of the Ninein Peak won't know. At present, there are only a few people who have been corrupted by him. When this problem is solved, we will transfer him away from the Ninein Peak and find a suitable replacement. The Great Elder explained his plan. Only one true edition hashtag, the others are all pirate plus edition hashtag. Yangyu understands. The Medicine Valley needs time. At present, the Southern Dipper sect is holding back the Medicine Valley. But what about later? When the Golden Flame sect resolves the conflict with the Southern Dipper sect, they will still come back to target us. Yu Yangyu wasn't worried about the current situation, but he was worried about the future. You are right. However, 2 of the Great Elders have gone to the Southern Dipper sect. One of them is acquainted with a senior member of the Southern Dipper sect and has a relationship with him. The other one helped the vice sect master of the Southern Dipper sect refine elixirs in the past. As a favor, I hope the Southern Dipper sect can hold back the Golden Flame sect from behind when they attack us. The Great Elder said. I see. I hope it will go smoothly. Yu Yangyu sighed. Why did he ask for help? It was because the Medicine Valley wasn't strong enough. In the past, they didn't have the Holy Cauldron scripture. Too many people were stuck at a bottleneck and couldn't break through. Now that the Holy Cauldron scripture had been found, the Medicine Valley needed time. With time, they wouldn't have to be afraid of the Golden Flame sect's provocation. Chapter 160. Hua Yunpeng had already decided to abdicate. The only reason he had been holding on to the position for the past few years was because there hadn't been a suitable candidate. Then what does Grand Elder think? Yu Yangyu pondered for a moment before asking. Tell me your opinion first. The Grand Elder smiled. This could be considered a test for Yu Yangyu. If we're talking about seniority and prestige, the elders would naturally be the best choice. But the elders are already very old. If they were to manage a peak, they would be too lifeless. It wouldn't be suitable. Yu Yangyu only spoke half of his opinion. Your opinion is very good. There are no problems. Once the situation stabilizes, we'll make arrangements for this. I'm also tired. The Valley Master's ability is great, but his heart isn't on this. The Grand Elder stood up. In the Dragon Spring Monastery, after drinking some wine, Knight Sorrow greeted Yang Lei and Aoi before going into seclusion to attack the third level of muscle strengthening. Gong Xian and the others had already gone to Danding City to patrol. Yang Lei didn't go because of Yu Yangyu's instructions. Breaking through to the third level of muscle strengthening wasn't difficult for Knight Sorrow at all. All he had to do was strengthen the tendons in his legs. With the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill as a backup, it took him less than 4 hours to complete. Whether it was in the blood refining realm or the muscle strengthening realm, strengthening the tendons in the legs was the easiest. Over the next 2 days, Knight Sorrow used this time to stabilize his cultivation base. After stabilizing his cultivation base, Knight Sorrow greeted Yang Lei and Aoi before going to Qinji Tower. 3 days had already passed. He wanted to go ask Law Enforcer Dong about Yundong Town's follow-up mission. Hearing that Knight Sorrow was going to Danding City, Yang Lei didn't allow Knight Sorrow to refuse and followed along. #2p permanent h-free/k read novels. 9 Now Knight Sorrow was the treasure of Taishin Peak as well as the face of Medicine Valley. If Knight Sorrow was killed or injured by the disciples of Golden Flame sect, Medicine Valley would lose face. After passing through layers of blockades set up by the disciples of the Medicine Valley, the two entered Danding City. They took a beast carriage and arrived at Tianji Tower. After asking the service staff to inform him, Knight Sorrow waited for Enforcer Dong. After Enforcer Dong appeared, he brought Knight Sorrow into the private room. Yang Lei sat in the hall drinking tea and waiting. She knew that Enforcer Dong had a good relationship with Knight Sorrow, and she also knew about the relationship between Enforcer Dong and Sikong Chuyu. In the private room, Enforcer Dong took out the mission list. This time it's not bad. The mission I submitted is a special bronze mission. It's a team mission. Of course you can also accept it alone. Otherwise it would be a silver mission. Knight Sorrow took a look and was stunned. The mission points for killing the witch were 5 times more than the investigation mission. How is it? Although there are no gold notes or resources, the points are very high. It's better than the average silver mission, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. Then I'll accept it, Knight Sorrow said. Are you planning to submit it later? Looking at Knight Sorrow, Enforcer Dong asked with a smile. I'll submit it now. Knight Sorrow took out the storage belt with the heads of the 2 witches and handed it to Enforcer Dong. Based on your character, I knew you wouldn't keep the 2 witches alive. Tell me, how did you kill them? Enforcer Dong asked while looking at the heads. My method this time was not honorable. Their cultivation was too high and I couldn't kill them. So, I used a poisonous grass to make them unable to fight back, Knight Sorrow said. That's right. They did absorb the yang energy but didn't refine it. This mission is complete. I'll exchange it for points for you. Looking at the heads, Enforcer Dong took Knight Sorrow's mission plate to register. In this mission, Enforcer Dong personally recorded the mission's handover record. It was no different from Knight Sorrow's handover record. As for how Knight Sorrow completed the mission, Enforcer Dong remembered it clearly. Not bad. You have half of the bronze points. At this speed, it shouldn't take long for you to advance to the silver token. Unfortunately, the Medicine Valley is in troubled times now, Enforcer Dong sighed. He felt sorry for Knight Sorrow. If Knight Sorrow was born in a big family, he would definitely be a master who could use heaven and earth treasures at will. He would be an absolute member of the family. They can do whatever they want. I'll cultivate and do my missions. If the war starts, it won't be too late for me to join the battle. However, my cultivation is useless. Knight Sorrow laughed self-deprecatingly. Indeed, in a battle between 2 forces, Yuan gathering stage cultivators were not even considered cannon fodder. Since you've decided, come and take a look when you have time. If you find a suitable mission, it'll be good for you to advance to the silver token earlier. You can also exchange the points for resources, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. He didn't go into too much detail. He knew very well that advancing to the silver token earlier would greatly benefit Night Sorrow's accumulation of experience in Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow bowed to Enforcer Dong and left the private room with Yang Lei. He didn't even take the siren's storage belt. Looks like it went very well. It's good to have connections, Yang Lei said. It went very well. I accepted the mission and handed it in directly. I got a lot of points. Plus, I've worked hard to complete the missions during this period. My points are more than half of the bronze token now, Night Sorrow said. Advance to the silver token as soon as possible and advance to the core condensation stage. This way Tianji Tower will pay more attention to you. For example, Enforcer Dong will hand over the information about your mission to the headquarters. He won't hide anything, Yang Lei said. I'll work hard. This Tianji Tower is really powerful. Night Sorrow was indeed in awe of Tianji Tower. Even someone as arrogant as Zhan Peng from the Golden Flame sect didn't dare to cause trouble in Tianji Tower. Yes, everything that happened to you, including killing Zhan Peng, will be reported by Tianji Tower. Purple attention is very important to Tianji Tower. Senior sister, let's go to the City Lord's mansion to see Master. Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. Okay, you have wine with you. Let's buy some food, Yang Lei nodded and said. In the City Lord's mansion's hall, Night Sorrow saw Yu Yangyu and Qian Wu. The two were looking at the map of Danding City. 13 You're here. Come and greet the second elder. Yu Yangyu greeted Night Sorrow. Disciple Night Sorrow greets the second elder. Night Sorrow bowed to Qian Wu. Good, very good. I saw your performance in the sect tournament. You are indeed very good. To be honest, you are the most outstanding talent in Medicine Valley in hundreds of years. Qian Wu said with a smile. Thank you for your praise, second elder. Master, you've been busy all day. Disciple and ninth senior sister have brought some food and wine. Master and second elder, please have some. Yishang took out the food he had bought from the restaurant and the wine from his storage ring. Okay, how is your cultivation going? Yu Yangyu asked the second elder after inviting him to sit down. Everything is going well. Night Sorrow nodded. That's good. Danding City is a bit chaotic. Don't run around. Yu Yangyu said while drinking. Chapter 161. Why can't we go there? Night Sorrow didn't understand, so he asked. Don't ask. Just do as the second elder says. Yu Yangyu didn't let Night Sorrow continue asking. Su Chenbai's matter was a pain in Qian Wu's heart. At the same time, it was also a secret of the Medicine Valley. After Yu Yangyu explained, Night Sorrow nodded and didn't ask further. Come, you two sit down and have a drink. This wine is really strong. Qian Wu waved at Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei also sat down. However, Yang Lei didn't say anything. She had a problem with Qian Wu because Su Chenbai and Su Mu were both Qian Wu's disciples. Ninth brother, let me tell you something. Competition within the sect is a good thing. It can make the members of the sect full of fighting spirit. This is also the reason why the second elder didn't stop some things, so you have to weigh it in your heart. Yangyu could see that Yang Lei had some opinions about Qian Wu. Yangyu, your thoughts are the same as mine. However, some things have deviated from the right track. This is indeed my dereliction of duty as an elder. Qian Wu laughed at himself and drank a bowl full of wine. Second elder, some things are unpredictable. Yangyu tried to persuade him. Yang Lei and Night Sorrow didn't interrupt. They both felt that there were some things that they didn't know. After drinking 2 bowls of wine, the two of them took their leave. Ninth senior sister, did something happen? I feel like the second elder is blaming himself, Night Sorrow said. Maybe. Otherwise he wouldn't have said something like dereliction of duty. Let's not ask about these things. After all, it involves the reputation of the sect's elders. If he knows he's wrong, then let's forget about it. Otherwise we won't give him any face. Yang Lei muttered. Sitting in the beast carriage, the two left Danding City and returned to the Dragon Spring courtyard. 6th senior sister, 9th senior sister, can I continue to use the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid to cultivate? Night Sorrow asked. Back then, when Night Sorrow had obtained the heaven grade treatment, the Medicine Valley had given him 2 drops of medicine cauldron spirit liquid. During the sect tournament, Night Sorrow had used 1 drop, so there was still 1 drop left. Sure. With your current status as the top of the Yuan ranking in the treatment of a heaven-ranked disciple, you can get 2 drops every year. It's suitable for you to use it now to strengthen your foundation, Always said to Night Sorrow. After listening to Always' explanation, Night Sorrow nodded and returned to his room. He urgently needed to increase his strength. Although no one said it, Night Sorrow knew that he was a burden to Taishan Peak and needed someone to protect him. In addition, he also hoped that he could reach rank 4 as soon as possible so that he could go to the Qingtian region. The faster his cultivation increased, the more likely he would be recruited by the Tianji Tower. At that time, it would be easier for him to go to the Qingtian region. After returning to his room, Night Sorrow ate the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid and began cultivating. He did not use the supreme grade soul gathering pill or leopard embryo tendon strengthening pill. Although the energy contained in the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid was different from the soul gathering pill and soul increasing pill, it could not provide an endless supply of energy. However, the energy contained in the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid was not small and was enough for him to absorb for a few days. Night Sorrow cultivated for 2 days until he completely absorbed the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid. On the second day of cultivation, Night Sorrow's chi could no longer increase. He had reached the bottleneck of chi gathering level 4. Later on, he cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome. After changing into a linen robe made by Auntie Lin, Night Sorrow left his room. In the hall on the first floor, Night Sorrow saw the silver fox cub. A few days ago, Night Sorrow had left the silver fox cub in the care of Aoi and Hai Luo, so he did not take care of it. When it saw Night Sorrow, the silver fox cub directly jumped onto Night Sorrow's shoulder. "Ninth junior sister, did you see that? This is a plaything that is not mature. I took care of it for a few days but it ignored me. Now that 13 is here, it immediately went over to me." Aoi said somewhat gloomily. "Hee, this matter is really hard to explain. It's just like a relationship between a man and a woman. You take the initiative to like someone but they might not necessarily like you back." Yang Lei said. "A relationship between a man and a woman? It's like you know more than me." Aoi laughed. She and Yang Lei were about the same age and they had been in the sect for about the same time. She was very clear about Yang Lei's situation. She had never come into contact with a man outside of the Taishan Peak. Night Sorrow brought the silver fox cub to the garden of the other courtyard. He combed the feathers of the resting Chanyu, and then casually strolled around the courtyard. He wanted to relax and then continue to break through. He cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome and the Sacred Cauldron Scripture, so he broke through twice as many levels as others. The effort he put in was also the same. Fortunately, he could cultivate both at the same time, so it was not a waste of time. After strolling around, Night Sorrow arrived at the attic where Sikong Chuyu lived. After taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow walked in. The attic was very clean. Hai Luo, Luo Wei and the others came to clean it every day, but the original furnishings had not changed at all. Night Sorrow stayed in Sikong Chuyu's attic for a while, and only left when it was time for lunch. At noon he did not practice with Yang Lei. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his room and began to break through. Night Sorrow had broken through a few times in the Yuan Gathering tier, so he was very familiar with it. He had accumulated enough true chi and it was also very solid. Breaking through was done by sleeping. The advancement of the Sacred Cauldron Scripture was much easier than that of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome. It was just the condensation of true chi. However, every advancement of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome was very painful. It was as if the body had to be dismantled and reassembled. With the example of the pain of the advancement of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome, the advancement of true chi was not a problem for Night Sorrow. He successfully broke through to the 5th level of Yuan Gathering tier in 4 hours. After the advancement, he ate a leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill and cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome while stabilizing his battle chi. 6th senior sister, 13 is a little bastard. He has no concept of time when he cultivates. He won't eat breakfast with us. He has advanced. While muttering, Yang Lei casually probed and found that Night Sorrow's chi had changed. It was the chi of the 5th level of Yuan Gathering tier. Hee, what else is there to say? His advancement speed is fast, and his foundation is solid. We can't compare to him, always said with a smile. Indeed, it's not good to be unconvinced. When others stabilize their cultivation, it will delay their cultivation speed. With the cultivation speed, there will be the drawbacks of cultivation speed. Now, he has both a fast advancement speed and a solid foundation, Yang Lei said as she looked at the stairs leading to Night Sorrow's room. This is the tragedy of the Medicine Valley's newcomers. Think about it, in this year's Battle of the Newcomers, other than Sumu, 13 swept away everyone else. Next year, Sumu will be even worse. Which newcomer can contend against 13? That would require the strength of the first place on the Yuan ranking. Unless there is a guy in the peak of Yuan gathering tier participating in the disciple recruitment ceremony, Aoi said with a smile. Chapter 162. During the sect assembly, the higher-ups of Medicine Valley announced that everyone who joined the sect for 3 years would be considered as newcomers and could participate in the newcomer competition. This was mainly to increase the competitive atmosphere. Although there were drawbacks and it was difficult for newcomers to stand out, outstanding newcomers would still have a chance after 1 or 2 years. Just as the two were chatting, Night Sorrow appeared. "Are the 2 senior sisters here?" "Yes." "You broke through without a sound. Your speed is amazing," Aoi said. "Let's go and eat." "I'm hungry," Night Sorrow said while rubbing his stomach. Aoi nodded. The 3 of them went to the cafeteria. Nangong Dai, Chuning and the rest were all there. Chuning and Tang Tian each grabbed one end of the elbow and refused to let go. Nangong Dai was trying to calm them down. "Good for you. You guys continue to fight. Pretend we don't exist." Yang Lei waved her hand and sat down with Aoi and Night Sorrow. "Chu Jiu, are you going to let go?" Tang Tian shouted. "Although you're the senior brother, you can't bully others." "I took it first." Chuning refused to let go. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei and Aoi were eating while watching. "You guys continue to fight over this elbow. You guys didn't delay your training time, right? Don't sleep tonight. Make up for the lost time." Yang Lei drank a mouthful of soup and said slowly. "Chuning, you tricked me." Tang Tian let go. Chuning's face turned blue. This was bad luck. Ignoring them, Yi Shang and the other 2 left the loft after finishing their meal. "Practice for a while?" Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and asked. "No, I want to rest for a while and drink some tea. You don't cherish yourself, but I do." Yang Lei sat on the deck chair in the garden and said. Night Sorrow smiled and sat down. He teased the silver fox cub that ran to his feet. "That traitor, I bathe it every day but it's not close to me," Aoi complained. "It's mainly because when it first met Night Sorrow, it felt Night Sorrow's kindness. It's already deeply rooted in its heart," Yang Lei said. "This was just like humans. Normally they might not remember who treated them to fish and meat, but when they were hungry they would remember who gave them a steamed bun." After resting for a while, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei began to practice. The sparring session this time was much more intense than before. Night Sorrow's physical strength had increased a lot, and the strength of his hands and feet had also increased. In addition to strength, Night Sorrow's true chi was also much stronger than before. Night Sorrow still controlled the vibration force at 42 waves. He had just advanced and hadn't tried to increase the number of waves yet. Even if he did, he wasn't familiar with it. There were many times when Yishan took the initiative to attack, and Yang Lei also counterattacked whenever she saw an opening. She controlled her cultivation base, limiting it to the middle and early stage of the 3rd stage. Any higher, and Yishan wouldn't be able to hold on. After half an hour, Night Sorrow couldn't hold on any longer and stopped to rest. Yang Lei was also tired and sat down to drink tea. Aoi had nothing to do, so she began to train Chuning and the others. During the break, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei talked for a while and decided to go out and see what the Golden Flame sect's reaction was. Today was the deadline of 7 days. If the Golden Flame sect didn't retreat, the Medicine Valley would expel them. What did that mean? It meant a declaration of war. In other words, if the Golden Flame sect didn't retreat today, the Medicine Valley would take action. If the Medicine Valley took action, the Golden Flame sect wouldn't be able to stand it. The 2 forces would fight next. Because it was close, Night Sorrow didn't let Tianyu out. He and Yang Lei rode the Blue Eagle to Danding City. The atmosphere in Danding City today was different from usual. It used to be tense, but today was different. All the disciples of the Medicine Valley had unsheathed their weapons and were full of fighting spirit. Everyone knew that if the Golden Flame sect disciples didn't retreat from the Medicine Valley, the battle would start. Night Sorrow and Aoi rode the beast carriage to the mayor's mansion. Although they were in a hurry, they couldn't ride the flying beasts. There were crossbows on the high-rise buildings in Danding City. They were used to kill flying beasts and were also strategic weapons in war. At this time, the city guards were no longer guarding the crossbows. The elite disciples of the Medicine Valley were there. As long as a flying beast appeared, they would kill it without warning. At the gate of the mayor's mansion, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei saw the head elder, the second elder, and Yu Yangyu. "Greetings, head elder, second elder, and master." Night Sorrow bowed and greeted them. "Why are you here? What a mess. Old Nine, why don't you keep an eye on them?" Yu Yangyu scolded him. Yu Yangyu and the others were preparing to go to the Golden Flame sect's base in the Medicine Valley. If they didn't leave, they would start a war. It's not a big deal. It's good to see them. Yang Lei, you have to keep an eye on your junior brother. Great Elder said with a smile. At this time, the head elder's face was full of smiles. He didn't look nervous at all. The two great elders of the Medicine Valley had already sent back a message. As long as the Golden Flame sect declared war with the Medicine Valley, the Southern Dipper sect would directly attack. The other two great elders had also contacted the Walkabout sect. The Walkabout sect, which was willing to be on good terms with the Medicine Valley, had also expressed that as long as the Medicine Valley was willing to cooperate with the Walkabout sect, they would attack the Golden Flame sect when they attacked the Medicine Valley. This was the influence of alchemy sects and alchemists. The Southern Dipper sect and the Medicine Valley had a friendship. Apart from friendship, all cultivators needed elixirs. They could refine ordinary elixirs in their sects, but when it came to rare and unusual elixirs, they couldn't do it. Even if they had the materials, they couldn't refine them. However, the Medicine Valley was good at this. This was an objective problem that both the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect faced. The most important point was that from the perspective of the development of their sects, helping the Medicine Valley was beneficial to them. The existence of the Medicine Valley was a nail in the Golden Flame sect's heart. Helping the Medicine Valley and supporting the Medicine Valley was equal to restricting the development of the Golden Flame sect. This situation was beneficial to the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect, whose sphere of influence bordered the Golden Flame sect. After receiving the message, the head elder was sure that the Golden Flame sect wouldn't declare war. The existence of the Medicine Valley was an opportunity for the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect to jointly attack the Golden Flame sect. In terms of strength, the Golden Flame sect was not as good as the Southern Dipper sect. With the addition of the equally powerful Walkabout sect, the Golden Flame sect would be a fool to declare war under such pressure. Under the guidance of Yu Yangyu, they walked towards the Golden Fire Pavilion. The Medicine Valley had already received the news that all the members of Golden Fire sect in Danding City had gathered there. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei walked at the back, and so did the Great Elder. Update X New Most Fast K Shana. Chapter 163. Thank you for your concern, Great Elder, but I don't need anything for the time being. Night Sorrow said. He now felt that he owed the Medicine Valley a lot. Although the conflict between the Medicine Valley and the Golden Flame sect would happen sooner or later, it was caused by him cutting off Zhangping's arm. If you need anything, go to your master or find me. The sect will give you whatever help we can. You have given the Medicine Valley hope, and you are also the hope of the Medicine Valley. The Great Elder looked at Yi Sham with eyes full of admiration. The fact was just as the Great Elder said. Night Sorrow found the Holy Cauldron Sutra, which gave the Medicine Valley hope to rise again. Similarly, a young and outstanding disciple like Night Sorrow was also the future of the Medicine Valley. I will work hard. Night Sorrow could feel the care and kindness in the Great Elder's eyes. Later on, I may have to go to the Enshrined Pagoda. If you have any questions, use my token to find me at the Enshrined Pagoda. The Great Elder instructed. Great Elder, you are so biased. You are so good to 13. You didn't take care of me like this back then, Yang Lei said, curling her lips. Ha, don't compare yourself with your little junior brother, the Great Elder said with a smile. Yang Lei nodded. She was just saying. The Great Elder's prestige in the Medicine Valley was extremely high, even higher than that of the Valley Master. Before the Valley Master took office, he was the Great Elder and did things fairly. While chatting, the group arrived at the Golden Flame Pavilion. There were many people gathered at the entrance of the Golden Flame Pavilion. In the middle were hundreds of disciples of the Golden Flame sect, and outside were disciples of the Medicine Valley. They had already formed an encirclement. The leaders were Yen Beibei, Duan Lei, Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. Seeing Yu Yangyu, the Great Elder, and the others, the disciples of the Medicine Valley made way for them. Qi Tianqing, have you decided? Yu Yangyu walked out of the crowd and asked the leader of the Golden Flame sect, Qi Tianqing. Yu Yangyu, has the Medicine Valley decided to shed all pretense of cordiality? Have you thought of the consequences? Qi Tianqing said with a gloomy face. Don't talk to me about the consequences. Today the Medicine Valley will only give you one choice. Will you retreat or not? Yu Yangyu's answer? Are you trying to bring calamity to the Medicine Valley? Or do you think that the Medicine Valley can contend with the Golden Flame sect? Qi Tianqing roared angrily. He was really depressed. Yesterday, the Golden Flame sect had sent an order to prevent Qi Tianqing from clashing with the Medicine Valley. It would be best if they could intimidate Qi Tianqing, but if not, they would retreat temporarily. The actions of the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect had already put the Golden Flame sect in a passive position. I don't know if they can resist. But let me tell you, as long as you don't retreat, no one from the Golden Flame sect will survive in Danding City. Yu Yangyu glanced at the disciples of the Golden Flame sect and said, Yu Yangyu, the Golden Flame sect will remember what happened today. Let's go. Qi Tianqing glanced at Yu Yangyu coldly. Ignoring Qi Tianqing and the others who were walking out, Yu Yangyu gave a strong order. From today onwards, kill anyone with the symbol of the Golden Flame sect who enters the Medicine Valley. Qi Tianqing, who had walked a few meters away, trembled. He knew that the Medicine Valley had really turned hostile. All the members of the Golden Flame sect left. The tense atmosphere in Danding City eased. No one wanted to start a war if possible. Yangyu, call back all the people you sent out. In the future, the people of the 12 Peaks will take turns to be on duty in Danding City. We'll discuss the issue of the city lord, the first elder said. Under normal circumstances, Ao Yushan could be the city lord. But now that the situation was unstable, Ao Yushan couldn't control the situation. This operation had nothing to do with him. He couldn't get involved at all. After that, everyone dispersed. Yi Shang and Yang Lei followed the group back to the city lord's mansion. The peak masters of the various peaks also arrived at the main hall of the city lord mansion. Let's put this matter aside for now. But something can happen at any time. Danding City is the most important city. We can't afford to lose it. Ao Yushan will be the deputy city lord. Choose another city lord, the first elder said to the fourth elder, Lu Qinyun. I have no objection to the first elder's arrangement. Lu Qinyun nodded. Although his disciple's power was taken away, he understood that this was the general trend. During the next election, the elders and peak masters all recommended Gong Xian. Gong Xian has entered the 5th level. He's more than qualified to be the city lord. But he has other tasks. He can't be the city lord of Danding City. The first elder rejected directly. During the next election, Yang Lei was naturally put on the table. After all, there were very few people in the Medicine Valley in recent years. It could be said that almost no one had entered the 5th level. Yang Lei's ability was obvious to all. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Master, I have no problem killing people. But I can't be the city lord's disciple. Yang Lei stood up and said. That's true. What do you think, first elder? Yu Yangyu looked at the first elder. Capable people do more work. Yang Lei, don't decline this matter. Yushan, you have to cooperate with Yang Lei. If I find out that you have any ulterior motives, don't blame me for being rude. In addition, I'll set up the position of deputy city lord. Qingshan, you'll stay and assist Yang Lei. The first elder made another arrangement. First elder, why don't I stay? Chu Lingxiao said. You have other arrangements. Otherwise, why wouldn't everyone recommend you? Qian Wu said before the first elder could speak. At this time, Su Qinbai was frowning. The second elder hadn't made any arrangements for the people of the Nine Peak. This was the time for the peaks to expand their influence. Hearing Qian Wu's words, Chu Lingxiao nodded. He also wanted to contribute. Since the sect had other arrangements, he had no objections. In addition, the first elder announced that a month later, before the sect's disciple recruitment ceremony, the Medicine Valley would hold a sect meeting. The Grand Supreme Elder and the Valley Lord would attend. This let everyone know that there would be a big change in the Medicine Valley. After the announcement, the first elder asked everyone if there was anything else. Qian Wu suggested that this year's disciple recruitment ceremony should be more grand. They should attract more talents and give more rewards to the disciples who passed. The first elder nodded and agreed. Then he let Yu Yangyu make the arrangements. Yu Yangyu asked the peaks to send people to inform their subordinate regions. There were still 2 months. Time might be tight, but there was still time. After the meeting, those who should leave left. Ao Yushan also gave up the mansion next to the city lord's mansion. That was the residence of the city lord. Yang Lei also asked him to arrange a place for Bai Qingshan. There were no outsiders in the hall. Only Yang Lei and Night Sorrow were left. Yu Yangyu said, Old Jiu, I know you don't like trifles. But right now, Danding City really needs someone who can control the situation. You know, even among the elders, only a limited number of people have reached the 5th level. During this critical period, even if an elder becomes the city lord, he won't be able to control the situation without strength. Chapter 164. This is related to experience and strength. How can you be elected if you are not strong enough? You were elected not because of experience but because of strength, Yu Yangyu said. Ninth senior sister, if you don't want to take care of the trivial matters, it's simple. Don't we have 2 vice city lords? Just let them do it. You just need to take care of them. If you can't, just set up 2 protectors and let them do the work, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yes, old 9. You don't see it as clearly as 13. This is the way of managing people, Yu Yangyu said with a smile as he looked at Night Sorrow. Then isn't eldest senior brother more suitable than me? Yang Lei asked with a puzzled look. There will be some personnel changes in Medicine Valley. According to the current trend, I may not stay in Taishin Peak. The new peak master will either be your uncle Master Tai Tsong or your eldest senior brother. Yu Yangyu didn't hide anything from his disciple. I see. Then what about that bastard Chu Lingxiao? Isn't he very strong? Even the elders of the sect approve of him, Yang Lei asked. He also needs to take on a big responsibility. Alright old 9, stop complaining. The city lord of Danding City is a lucrative position. If you manage it well, it will benefit your future generations. Can't you see that Ao Yushan is unhappy? His Ao family has been the city lord before and has received many benefits. Now, it's his own fault for failing to live up to expectations, so he can only step down at this juncture, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Disciple understands. Yang Lei didn't say anything else. She knew that this was the truth. If she chose to marry and have children, then her future generations would receive great benefits. Yu Yangyu stayed for a while before leaving. He still had many things to deal with. The first elder and second elder had let him handle many of the sect's affairs. Junior sister, Bai Qingshan and Ao Yushan came back. Bai Qingshan greeted with a smile. Disciple greets the city lord. Bai Qingshan could call his junior sister directly, but Ao Yushan didn't dare to call her by her seniority. Lu Yangyu and Duan Lei were martial brothers, so Bai Qingshan was very close to Yang Lei and the others. He was Lu Qinyun's disciple and Yang Lei and Bai Qingshan's martial uncle, but in terms of closeness he was much weaker. In the future, I will trouble senior brother Qingshan and vice city lord, Yang Lei said. Bai Qingshan nodded. He understood that Yang Lei would be in charge of Danding City in the future, but there were some things that Yang Lei would not take care of personally. Don't worry, city lord. I will do my best. Ao Yushan expressed his loyalty. After reporting the situation, Ao Yushan left with Bai Qingshan. Ao Yushan only left a few servants in the mansion. The others were taken away. He was very unlucky this year. First, his grandson offended Night Sorrow. In the end, he lost his spirit stones and the Dragon Spring courtyard. Now he had to give up his position as the city lord in the mansion he lived in. Luckily, the Ao family was rich and had other mansions. Later, let Qiushue, who is 6th senior sister's servant, come over. We need someone to take care of your daily life. Night Sorrow looked at the empty mansion and said, The Dragon Spring courtyard also needs people? Yang Lei was not used to it. This huge mansion would be her home in the future. The Dragon Spring courtyard has Hai Luo and Luo Wei. Little 6 is also very capable, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Okay, you arrange it. It's better for us to have one more place. Yang Lei nodded and didn't refute Yishang's words. Dragon Spring courtyard had Hai Luo, Luo Wei, and a few others managing it. There was also the manager Little 6 who ran outside. There was no problem at all. Yang Lei brought Night Sorrow around the mansion. Although the mansion was not as luxurious and romantic as the Dragon Spring courtyard, it was more solemn. While looking around the mansion, Yang Lei also arranged a room for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow did not refuse. This was Yang Lei's kindness. After staying in the mansion for a while, Night Sorrow left. Yang Lei wanted to send him off, but Night Sorrow did not agree. Yang Lei had just become the city lord and had a lot of things to do. After leaving the city in the beast carriage, Night Sorrow returned to the Dragon Spring courtyard with Tianyu. Looking at Aoi, Night Sorrow told her about the situation in Danding City. He could see that Aoi was very anxious. Ninth junior sister became the city lord? This is a good thing. Seems like the Golden Flame sect does not dare to start a war. Aoi felt more assured. No one wanted to see a war where both sides suffered. Plus, Aoi knew that Yu Yangyu was going to take over as the Valley Lord. If a war broke out now, it would not be good for her master. Then Aoi called Little 6 and asked him to send Qiushu to Yang Lei's mansion in Danding City. After eating, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He knew that the Golden Flame sect would not make any moves in the near future. They would be quiet for a while. What he needed to do was to improve his cultivation as soon as possible and try his best to reach the 7th level of element gathering tier. Then he would be able to take the reinforcement pill and reach the 8th level of element gathering tier. At that time, the annual spirit gathering formation on Taishan Peak would be activated, and he would have a chance to reach the 9th level of element gathering tier. The following days were just as Night Sorrow predicted. After the Golden Flame sect retreated, they did not make any moves. After all, the Southern Dipper sect was still fighting. Night Sorrow cultivated hard every day. Every few days he would go to the Chenji Tower to check the missions. If there was something suitable, he would do it. If not, he would return to the courtyard to cultivate. On the other hand, Yang Lei was a bit busy. However, she spent most of her time in the Dragon Spring courtyard because she was used to living here. It was more convenient for Yang Lei to go back and forth. She was the city lord and had special privileges. She could ride the Green Condor to patrol in Danding City. From the city lord's office of Danding City to the Dragon Spring courtyard, the time wasted was from the city lord's office to the city gate. It would take more than 2 hours to collect the beast carriages. After leaving the city gate, it would only take a while to fly to the Dragon Spring courtyard. Time passed quickly. Night Sorrow's cultivation improved very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this time, Night Sorrow had completed 4 bronze missions. His cultivation had also reached the late stage of the 5th level of element gathering tier. This was mainly due to the effect of the top-grade soul gathering pill. His cultivation of the Book of Myriad Tao was also very fast. He had also reached the late stage of the 3rd level of muscle strengthening. However, he had to stop cultivating and return to the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley was going to hold a sect meeting. The second-generation disciples of each peak and members of the law enforcers and above had to return to the sect to participate in the meeting. Night Sorrow actually knew the purpose of this meeting. It was to announce some changes in the members of the sect. It was a big change. After returning to the Taishan Peak, Night Sorrow saw that his senior sisters and senior brothers had all returned. He and Aoi were the last to return. 13. You've grown a lot taller and stronger during this time, Taitsong said with a smile. Chapter 165. The Medicine Valley Sect Assembly was held at the square in front of Danding Peak. This was an internal assembly of the Medicine Valley, so there was no need for anyone to attend the ceremony. Therefore, the location of the assembly was different from the disciple recruitment ceremony and the sect competition. When Night Sorrow and the rest arrived, there were already tens of thousands of people at the square in front of Danding Peak. This time, the Medicine Valley Sect Assembly only required the participation of second-generation disciples and law enforcers and above. There were no restrictions for other members. It was best if they could come, but it was fine if they didn't. Therefore, many people had arrived. There were many chairs placed at the front of the square. These were the seats for the absolute upper echelons of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow and the rest arrived at the location of Taishan Peak. There were a few chairs for the elders of each peak. This time, Night Sorrow and the rest didn't have a seat. It was the same for the other peaks. The peak masters of each peak sat in the second row of chairs at the front of the square. The seats in front were for the elders. As more and more people arrived, there were fewer and fewer empty chairs. Yu Yangyu, the first elder, the second elder, and the rest had all arrived. Just as Night Sorrow was thinking about when the assembly would begin, more people arrived. Night Sorrow recognized one of them. It was Yu Yangyu's master, his grandmaster. There was another person who looked like an immortal. He was wearing a long robe embroidered with the pattern of Danding Peak. Beside this person there were 2 elders in black robes. Both of them had white hair and beards, but they were in good spirits. After seeing these people, the people on the main seat stood up and bowed to greet them. Even the first elder cupped his hands. You may begin. One of the elders in black robes gestured with his arm and sat down. An old man wearing a long robe with a cauldron pattern walked to the front desk. I'm Hua Yunpeng. First of all, I apologize to all members of the Medicine Valley. I've been in charge of the Medicine Valley for so many years, but I haven't made any achievements. This is my dereliction of duty. Fortunately, the first elder has maintained the order of the Medicine Valley. From today on, I will no longer be the Valley Master of the Medicine Valley. But what I can promise is that I will never give up the glory of the Medicine Valley. As long as there is a battle, I will stand at the front. Even if my blood splashes 5 steps away, I will not let the honor of the Medicine Valley be damaged. After Hua Yunping finished speaking, He took off the long robe with the pattern of the cauldron on it and put on the tight battle robe. Then he bowed to the main seat and the disciples of the Medicine Valley. The reason why he took off his clothes and bowed to apologize was that the dignity of the Valley Master of the Medicine Valley could not be blasphemed. The picture of the cauldron was the symbol of the Valley Master of the Medicine Valley. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just not good at it. A black-robed elder stood up and took 2 steps forward to help Hua Yunpeng up. Thank you for your understanding, Grand Elder. After straightening up, Hua Yunpeng handed the robe with the pattern of the cauldron on it to the first elder. The first elder took it and handed it to the elite disciple behind him. Don't blame yourself. Everything is fine in the Medicine Valley. You're seeking a breakthrough so that the Medicine Valley can have more deterrent ability. Sit down. After comforting Hua Yunpeng, the first elder walked to the front of the stage. Today's sect meeting is mainly to announce several things. After the elders' discussion, the Grand Elder has decided that Valley Master Hua will no longer be the Valley Master and enter the worship tower. From today on he will be the Grand Elder. In addition, the new Valley Master will be selected. The new Valley Master will be Yu Yangyu, the Peak Master of the Taishan Peak, the first elder announced. After the first elder's announcement, everyone began to applaud. The 3 Grand Elders Hua Yunpeng and the other Peak Masters were all applauding. The inauguration ceremony will be held before the apprenticeship ceremony. Yang Yu, now use your full power as the Valley Master and make the next arrangements. A Grand Elder said. Okay. Yang Yu walked to the front of the stage. Since I've taken over as the Valley Master, I'll first announce the personnel transfer arrangements. Since I've just taken over as the Valley Master, the position of Taishan Peak's Peak Master will be vacant and will be taken over by the eldest disciple of Taishan Peak, Gong Xian. Gong Xian has entered rank 5 and will have no problem taking over as the Peak Master. Because Gong Xian is still young, he will be assisted by the Taishan Peak's elder Tai Tsang. Does anyone have any objections? After the announcement, Yu Yangyu looked at the main seats. The Grand Elder, First Elder, and the others nodded. Even if they had objections, no one would object. Yu Yangyu had just taken over as the Valley Master and they would only support him even if he was wrong. They had to establish the prestige of the new Valley Master. As for the personnel arrangements, they had already been approved by a few people. Next, they continued with the personnel appointments. Danding Peak's Chu Ling Xiao will be the Peak Master of the 19th Peak. Because Chu Ling Xiao was still young, the second elder will also be assigned to the 19th Peak to assist him. Then what should I do? Su Chenbai's face turned ugly when he heard that his position as the Peak Master had been taken away. He did not care about anything else and stood up immediately. Just follow the arrangements. Why do you have so many questions? Second Elder Qian Wu reprimanded him. Then Yu Yangyu looked at Su Chenbai and said, I have just taken over as the Valley Master and have a lot of things to deal with. I need help. Peak Master Su, you can come to the main peak to help. A smile appeared on Su Chenbai's face and he sat down. After sitting down, his expression changed again. He originally thought that his position had been promoted and he would be in charge of the Medicine Valley's overall affairs. However, Yu Yangyu did not arrange any new positions for him. At this time he could not stand up and question him again. Also, Cloud Sea Peak is in charge of recruiting new disciples this year, right? This year the main disciples will be sent to 19th Peak, Taishan Peak and Crepe Myrtle. These 3 peaks need to recruit new members. The other peaks will be given the chance first. Yu Yangyu made another arrangement. After announcing some changes, Yu Yangyu returned to his seat. At this time, the first elder came to the front desk again and said, I have something to add. The mayor of Danding City used to be the protector of the Medicine Valley. Now that the Medicine Valley is in a delicate situation, the mayor of Danding City will be an elder of the Medicine Valley in the future. He can mobilize any disciple under the elder rank. Chapter N, Section N. $K. A great elder walked to the front desk and said, The Medicine Valley has been baptized for countless years and gone through countless difficulties. It's time for its rapid development. From today onwards, all disciples will receive double the original resources. In addition, we will treat the Golden Flame sect with respect. Although the Medicine Valley is not as strong as them, we are brave. As long as they are in the Medicine Valley, we will kill any Golden Flame sect disciple on sight. Then, the first elder announced that the meeting was over, but the senior members continued to discuss some things. Congratulations, first elder brother. Night Sorrow turned to Gong Xian and cupped his hands. Wu Qi and the others also cupped their hands and greeted him. Even the elders of Taishan Peak did the same. This was not a matter of seniority. In the Medicine Valley, the authority of the Valley Master and the Peak Master was unquestionable. Even the Valley Master would not easily intervene in the affairs of the peaks. Don't worry about it. Let's go back, Gong Xian said with a smile. He had already known about this arrangement. Chapter 166. Su Qinbai was from the Golden Flame sect. Yu Yangyu and the Great Elder had mentioned this to Night Sorrow, mainly to remind him not to get plotted against. From today's arrangement, Night Sorrow could see that the Medicine Valley had begun to control Su Qinbai. Chu Lingxiao taking over the position of Peak Master of the Ninein Peak was to remove Su Qinbai's real power. Chen Wu was the previous Peak Master of the Ninein Peak. With him assisting Chu Lingxiao, even if Su Qinbai had trusted subordinates in the Ninein Peak, they wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. In addition, once Su Qinbai arrived at the main peak, he would be under complete surveillance and control. Without a position, it would be impossible for him to mobilize the forces of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow was satisfied that Gong Xian taking over the position of Peak Master of the Taishan Peak didn't affect him much. He didn't want anyone to come to the Taishan Peak and order him around. After returning to the Taishan Peak, Tai Tsang arranged for everyone to have a meeting at the Taishan Peak. Night Sorrow and the others sat in the main hall. 13 You're going to Danding Peak. If you don't have any objections, pack up and go there later, Gong Xian said to Night Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, why? Why doesn't the Taishan Peak want me? Upon hearing Gong Xian's words, Night Sorrow was so agitated that his eyes turned red. To him, the Taishan Peak was his home. 13 What are you thinking? Master is worried about you, so he wants to bring you there. How can we not want you? Gong Xian stood up and hugged Night Sorrow, patting Night Sorrow's back. I'm not going. I'll tell Master that I'll be fine at the Taishan Peak, Night Sorrow said after taking a deep breath. Yeah, I'll tell Master too. We'll take good care of 13, always said. That's fine. Actually, I can't bear to part with 13 either, Gong Xian said with a smile. Alright then. If not, your junior master will go talk to your revered master. When you're free, junior master can just run to Danding Peak a few more times. Tai Tsang chuckled. Master will agree to it. 13 My little rundown house on Bamboo Forest Peak is yours. Later I will have someone repair it and build a loft, Gong Xian said. Thank you, eldest senior brother. Night Sorrow bowed. But you have to visit Master more often at Danding Peak. Every time he goes there, he won't feel at ease without a single disciple by his side. Gong Xian reminded Night Sorrow. Don't worry, eldest senior brother. We will all go, always said. Really, this valley head position means nothing to Master. He might as well live comfortably at Taishan Peak, Yang Lei mumbled. Yang Lei, you can't say such nonsense. You're an elder now, do you understand? Tai Tsang glared at Yang Lei. After the meeting at Taishan Peak, Yu Yangyu returned with the Great Elder. Gong Xian, is there a problem? Yu Yangyu sat down and asked Gong Xian. No problem. It's just that 13 still wants to stay at Taishan Peak, Gong Xian said as he stood up. That's fine too. If there's any problem, you can find me at Danding Peak. Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Master, I can't bear to leave Taishan Peak. This place is like home. But I will visit Danding Peak often, Night Sorrow said guiltily. I understand your feelings. I can't bear to leave this place either, Yu Yangyu nodded at Night Sorrow. Valley Lord, in terms of the ability to teach disciples, there are many more people in the Medicine Valley who are more outstanding than you. However, the achievements of this disciple are unparalleled in the Medicine Valley. No one can deny this fact, the Grand Elder said with a smile. He had already changed the way he addressed Lu Yangyu and no longer called him by his name. How should I put it? It's mainly because these kids are hardworking. They don't want me to lose face. Rather than saying that I've taken in disciples, it's better to say that I've taken in a group of children. Yu Yangyu looked at his disciples proudly. That makes sense. It's the truth, Great Elder nodded. After staying for a while, Yu Yangyu left. Although the conflict between the Medicine Valley and the Golden Flame sect had been resolved, he had just taken over as the valley head and there were still a lot of things to deal with. Night Sorrow asked Gong Xian if the Spirit Gathering Array would be activated this year and if he could still enter. Looking at Night Sorrow, Gong Xian smiled. It's activated. New disciples and those who haven't entered the core condensation stage can enter the Spirit Gathering Array. After receiving Gong Xian's reply, Night Sorrow was very happy. He had a plan. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Always stayed at the Taishan Peak for a while before leaving for Danding City. When they arrived at the gate of Danding City, Night Sorrow and Aoi were about to land Tianyu and the Azure Condor. However, Yang Lei stopped them. There's no need to land. Just fly. I've already ordered that the Azure Condors can fly in Danding City. Night Sorrow and Tianyu can also fly. I've also drawn a portrait of them and sent it out. You can do that? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei in surprise. I'm the city lord. Whatever I say goes. It's good to have power, Yang Lei said domineeringly. Sixth senior sister, I have some doubts. Is it a mistake for the sect to arrange for ninth senior sister to be the city lord of Danding City? Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13, what do you mean? Are you doubting your ninth senior sister's ability? If anyone dares to cause trouble in Danding City, I'll just kill them. That's my ability, Yang Lei glared at Night Sorrow and said. 13, do you know that in the future the disciples of Taishan Peak will be highly valued in the Medicine Valley? Not for anything else but for their domineering aura. It's a kind of spiritual inheritance, Always said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow agreed with what Always said. A force needed a leader like that. When they arrived at Yang Lei's mansion, it was getting late. Aoi and Night Sorrow stayed at Yang Lei's mansion. Tomorrow was the beginning of the month. Night Sorrow planned to go out early to do missions and earn points as soon as possible. That night, Yishang didn't cultivate. He just lay on the bed and slept. He was a cultivator who had been forced to sleep by Yang Lei. Meditating meant resting, but he still didn't really relax mentally. Aoi and Yang Lei drank tea for a while and decided to rest. Before they went to sleep, they went to Night Sorrow's room. Night Sorrow fell asleep on the bed with his clothes on. He did not even cover himself with the quilt. You really don't know how to take care of yourself. Yang Lei shook her head and gently covered Night Sorrow with the quilt. LTI-K. After covering Night Sorrow with the quilt, Yang Lei and Aoi went to rest. Night Sorrow woke up early. After greeting Aoi and Yang Lei, Night Sorrow rushed to Tianji Tower. The mayor's mansion was relatively close to Tianji Tower. It was only a few steps away. When Night Sorrow arrived, Tianji Tower was not open yet. Night Sorrow waited at the entrance. While he was waiting, enlightenment arrived with the disciples of Danding Peak. Chapter 167. Oh, enlightenment, you guys are here too. You're all early, Night Sorrow greeted them. We have to be early. Now everyone is fighting for missions because of Martial Uncle. Martial Uncle, leave the normal black iron missions to us. Enlightenment said helplessly. Okay, I'll try my best to take bronze missions. Night Sorrow nodded. He didn't have the energy to do too many black iron missions. Tianji Tower hadn't opened yet, but many people had already arrived. Almost all of them were disciples of the Medicine Valley. When they saw Night Sorrow, their eyes turned a little blue. Martial Uncle, you're here. Shi Yunhai also came. Oh, you're here for missions too? Night Sorrow greeted Shi Yunhai. Yes, I was chased out by my uncle to practice combat. I didn't receive any missions a few days ago. I asked around and heard that a new mission will be released at the beginning of the month. Yes, it's easier to take missions at the beginning of the month. Night Sorrow nodded. Just as they were talking, Tianji Tower opened. Enforcer Dong stood in the hall. He knew that Night Sorrow would definitely come at the beginning of the month. Line up according to the rules. Enforcer Dong shouted when he saw so many people. Hearing Enforcer Dong's words, Enlightenment and Shi Yunhai stood behind Night Sorrow. None of the disciples of the Medicine Valley stood in front of Night Sorrow. This was a form of respect. It had nothing to do with the second-generation disciples of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow came to Enforcer Dong and said, I'm here to take a mission. Enforcer Dong smiled and nodded. He handed the bronze and black mission lists to Night Sorrow. At the same time, the receptionist took notes with a pen and paper. They all knew that Night Sorrow was definitely not taking a mission. Night Sorrow took the bronze mission list and started pointing. Then he glanced at the two black iron missions. Seeing Enlightenment and Shi Yunhai staring at him, Night Sorrow put down the black iron mission list and continued to take bronze missions. After accepting 7 bronze missions in one go, Night Sorrow was finally done. Be careful when you go out. If you have time, let's drink together. After saying goodbye to Shi Yunhai and Enlightenment, he turned and left. Senior brother, Uncle Master has taken on so many bronze missions. Can he complete all of them with his cultivation base? A disciple of the Medicine Valley behind the Enlightenment sect stuttered. Only hashtag Yijing, edition, comma, asterisk 8 other V all G, is the pirated edition. Yes, he can complete it. Let's take a look at the Black Iron mission. Enlightenment patted his junior brother's shoulder. This junior brother had returned to his hometown some time ago and didn't know about Night Sorrow's deeds. The Enlightenment didn't mention it either, mainly because they wanted to deal a blow to him. After leaving the Qinji Tower, Night Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and flew directly. This was the benefit of having a senior sister as the city lord. Night Sorrow's name, Tianyu, was noted in Danding City. This was a privilege that even the elders of the Medicine Valley didn't have. Night Sorrow planned to use this time to consolidate his cultivation base. His cultivation base had improved a little recently and was not far from a breakthrough. Night Sorrow's bronze missions were not difficult. Only one of them was more difficult. It was to hunt down a rapist in the early stage of the core condensation realm. Night Sorrow wasn't very worried about the rapist's cultivation base. He knew that the rapist's cultivation base was in the early stage of the core condensation realm. Night Sorrow's original plan was to finish the other missions and go back to do the next one. However, thinking that there would be more victims during this period of time, he went to Qianxiang Town in the Qianshan City area ahead of time. There was another reason for this choice. Night Sorrow was worried that if he stayed too long, the mission information would be inaccurate. One had to know that people were mobile. If he was late, the rapist might change his location. That would be troublesome. Qianxiang Town was a place with beautiful scenery. It was rich in silk, so it was relatively prosperous. Because of the importance of business development, there were relatively few cultivators. This was also the reason why the rapist committed crimes here. Night Sorrow went directly to the mayor's house to understand the situation. Night Sorrow found out that a girl had been defiled the day before yesterday. This rapist came out almost every few days. Moreover, the mayor was very sure that the rapist was in Qianxiang Town. This was because the strong men in the town formed a patrol team and checked people coming in and out. Night Sorrow believed this. Qianxiang Town was a town with only one road in and out. It was surrounded by lakes. Could be said that it was a town on water. Outside the lakes were mulberry fields where people worked. The rapist's cultivation was at the early core condensation realm. It was impossible for him to escape the patrol team's detection and leave the town. Mayor, there aren't many people in the town. Can't we investigate? Night Sorrow asked. Then the mayor's answer made Night Sorrow understand why the rapist was so difficult to catch. It was because this was a trading town. There were many restaurants and inns. It was very difficult to investigate. The mayor's answer made Night Sorrow have some doubts. There are many strangers and merchants coming in and out. How can you be sure that the rapist is still here? We have indeed taken strict precautions. We don't let strangers in or out. Those who let them in are merchants who have dealt with us for a few years. If it was a bad guy, he wouldn't have waited until today to make trouble. The mayor said. Well, that means that the rapist might still be here. Haven't you thought of a way? Night Sorrow asked. We thought about it. We even put a bounty on him. Several people came, but they could only see his shadow. They couldn't catch him at all. They said that he seemed to be wearing a fur coat, but we haven't seen anyone wearing a fur coat in our town. The mayor said. I'll try my best. Night Sorrow nodded to the mayor. It was already late. Night Sorrow went to the tallest watchtower in the town to meditate. At the same time he also let out Tianyu. After meditating for the whole night, he didn't find anything. However, Night Sorrow wasn't discouraged because the town was safe last night. In other words, the rapist didn't appear. After dawn, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating and went to find the mayor. He planned to see the victims. When he heard that Night Sorrow wanted to see the victims, the mayor's expression changed. He shook his head and said, "It's very tragic. Not only did they lose their virginity, but their bodies were also badly scratched. 2 of them even had their faces disfigured. You can catch them if you can. Don't ask any more." The mayor's tone was a little unlucky. He didn't believe Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was young. Compared to other cultivators, his appearance was much worse. Okay. I don't see the victims. Then I'll ask if there are any other strange things in the town. Night Sorrow also saw the mayor's impatience. Well, they just lost some food, some ducks or something. After glancing at Night Sorrow, the mayor directly left. He also invited other cultivators. Seeing the mayor's attitude, Night Sorrow knew that the investigation wouldn't work. The mayor wouldn't cooperate. He was doing a mission. He couldn't use his identity as a disciple of the Medicine Valley to pressure people. In a situation where there was no other way, Night Sorrow could only wait. He suspected that it was done by outsiders or people in the town. After analyzing the mayor's words, he knew that the rapist didn't kill anyone. Chapter 168. Night Sorrow had to figure out a way himself since the mayor was not willing to cooperate with him. He wandered around the streets casually, checking out the situation in the town. Although it was called a town, Sky Fragrance Town was very developed with 2,000 to 3,000 families. There were inns and restaurants on both sides of the street. It was quite prosperous. On the east side of the town, Night Sorrow felt something unusual. At the same time he saw someone he should not have seen. It was Mrs. Luo from the town where he got the sky-piercing grass. It was Mrs. Luo who got mad when Night Sorrow broke her wall. Mrs. Luo was also surprised to see Night Sorrow. While Night Sorrow was still in shock, Blacksmith also appeared. However, Blacksmith's appearance was very different from before. He was now wearing a loose robe. "Hey, kid, why are you here?" The blacksmith greeted Night Sorrow warmly. "Uncle, why are you here?" Night Sorrow asked. "This is also my home. We just came back yesterday to do some things. What about you? Are you here to catch that flower thief? Come in and have a seat." The blacksmith invited Night Sorrow into the yard. "I'm here for that flower thief. You don't live in that town anymore?" Night Sorrow asked after entering the yard. "We don't live there anymore. The environment here is good, so we moved here," the blacksmith said. Night Sorrow knew that the blacksmith and Mrs. Luo had secrets, but he could not say it out loud. Otherwise it would be meaningless. He took out the last jar of 100 herbs wine and said, "Uncle, thank you for giving me the sky-piercing spear. I have nothing to repay you with, so I can only buy you a drink." "I like your temper. Come, let's drink," the blacksmith said with a smile. After drinking the jar of 100 herbs wine, the uncle's face turned red. This blacksmith uncle loved to drink, but he could not hold his liquor well. "Uncle, take a rest. I still have to look for clues." Night Sorrow stood up and said, "You go to the north. There may be clues there. I was going to take a look. Since you are here, you can handle it." The uncle stood up unsteadily. "I don't have any more of that wine, but I have some other wine here. Leave some for Uncle." Night Sorrow left behind a few jars of wine that he had bought in Danding City, as well as a jar of Uncle Nyo's strong liquor. Only then did he leave. "Second brother, did you see that? That brat's cultivation has risen to a ridiculous level." After Night Sorrow left, the blacksmith uncle rubbed his eyes and said, "Indeed. I've been to many places, but I've never seen a young man like him." Sister Luo nodded and said, "Now that I've met this kid, there's good wine to drink." "Not bad." The blacksmith happily looked at the wine jar left behind by Night Sorrow. "Are we really going to let him deal with that scourge? Could he do it? We don't want to hurt their child." Mrs. Luo looked at the blacksmith worriedly. "If he wants to do the mission himself, then he has to face the possibility of what might happen next. If something happens to him, then it's his fate." The blacksmith turned around and went into the yard. He did not continue the topic. Following the blacksmith uncle's guidance, Night Sorrow arrived at the north side of Sky Fragrance Town. The lake here was relatively shallow and there was a water bamboo forest. Night Sorrow saw scratches on a few of the thicker pillars. Although there were 5 scratches, they did not look like they were made by humans. After looking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that they were left behind by apes. Could it be a perverted ape? Yishang muttered. He was a little shocked. He remembered the mayor's words. All of the victims had been scratched. With the blacksmith uncle's guidance and the traces here, he came to a different conclusion. It was not easy to investigate in the water bamboo forest, so Night Sorrow did not continue to investigate. Instead, he moved some distance away and began to wait. After knowing that the blacksmith and Sister Luo were not ordinary people, Night Sorrow chose to trust them. After finding a suitable place to wait, Night Sorrow sat down cross-legged and did not move. He knew that both the flower thief and the perverted ape would only take action at night. There were fewer people in the north side of the town, so no one noticed Night Sorrow. He cultivated until night time. At night, Night Sorrow took out his reincarnation spear and hid behind a bamboo bridge. He did not know if the situation would happen tonight, but waiting was his only choice. In the middle of the night, with the invasion of the night wind, a situation occurred. The water bamboo forest swayed, and a black shadow scuttled out from the forest and entered the town. Night Sorrow followed closely behind. He was almost certain that the black shadow was the culprit, but he still could not make a move. He had to confirm it first. After entering the town, the black shadow shuttled back and forth in the streets and alleys. Sometimes, it would even run on the roofs at an extremely fast speed. If Night Sorrow did not use the dragon leap steps, he would have lost it. And this was not the full speed of the black shadow. Soon after, the black shadow entered a courtyard and did not come out. Night Sorrow also jumped over the courtyard wall and entered. Ah! At this moment, a scream came from the courtyard. Stop! Night Sorrow's body flashed and broke the window of the room with a kick. At the same time he shouted loudly. V Yong, Z long time free of charge, read 2 novels. After kicking open the window, Night Sorrow saw the situation in the room with the help of the candlelight in the room. Just as he estimated, it was really a white fur perverted ape. At this moment, it was pressing down on a naked woman and was about to rape her. The woman was already unconscious. Seeing Night Sorrow, the white perverted ape pounced towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow brandished the reincarnation spear in his right hand and stabbed towards the white perverted ape. At this moment, there were 2 figures on the bamboo not far away from the courtyard. They were none other than the blacksmith and Sister Luo. The blacksmith and Sister Luo had communicated that the mission was Night Sorrow's responsibility. Whether Night Sorrow succeeded or failed, they would not care. However, if Night Sorrow failed, this flower-plucking scourge would have to be eliminated. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was powerful and heavy, but the white perverted ape was also very ferocious. Most importantly, it was fast. After dodging Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear, it pounced towards Night Sorrow. This was because Night Sorrow had mastered the chasing wind spear art. Thus, the white perverted ape was not able to get close to him. Hearing the sounds of battle, the owner and servants of the courtyard came out with torches. Back off. All of you back off. Night Sorrow knew that this perverted ape was very ferocious. Even if it did not kill its target woman, it did not mean that it would not kill other people. After shouting, Night Sorrow used the reincarnation spear with one hand. At the same time he took out a sky-piercing spear. He needed to have equipment for close combat. This white perverted ape was too fast. However, the situation was different from what Night Sorrow had imagined. After seeing other people holding torches, the white perverted ape panicked and jumped to escape. Seeing the white perverted ape running away, how could Night Sorrow let it go? This was his mission. When he jumped up and chased after it, the reincarnation spear shot towards the white perverted ape. Immediately after, he raised his left hand that was filled with the energy of the myriad Tao Tome. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.